Started shortly. We're just waiting for IT to get us. Actually, I think we are live now. Excuse me. Chairman, Commissioners, we are live.
Okay. Commissioners ready?
Ready.
Call to order, Valencia County Planning and Zoning Commission. Today is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026. Moving on to item number 2, the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Aguilar, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take your seats. All right, moving right along to item number 3, approval of agenda. Have all the commissioners present had an opportunity to look over the agenda? Is
Yes.
there any questions,
No.
comments, changes? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Motion?
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion with the second? Hearing
No.
none, call the vote.
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote? Yes. Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. Moving right along to item number 4, approval of the May 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission minutes. Have all the commissioners present had an opportunity to look over last month's minutes?
Yes.
Yes. Is there any questions,
No.
comments, changes, anything like that? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Motion?
Motion with the second. Do we have any discussion on the motion and the second? Hearing none, call the vote.
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote? Yes. Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. All right. Item number 5, staff reports. Mr. Baca, would you please be so kind?
Chairman, Commissioners, so this month, the meeting for the BOCC last week on June the 17th was canceled. So we did not have any of the requests that were scheduled to go in this month, go in front of the commission, but we do have 4 requests that'll be in front of them for next month. And so nothing to report on any of the previously heard requests here. And I just wanted to take some time today to give some praise for our code enforcement officers. So they are within our planning and zoning department, and they've just been doing a great job. They're really out there making their presence known, and they're really cleaning up a lot of things in the county. So I just want to make sure that they know how much it's appreciated, and I want to make sure to give them a little bit of praise. As a matter of fact, they are at court today, and at court, between the 5 officers, there's a total of approximately 15 cases going in front of the judge to get sorted out, and hopefully some good positive outcomes for the community there. Last thing I've got is 4th of July is coming up. We will be closed here at the administrative offices on July the 3rd. So I hope everybody has a safe, enjoyable 4th of July. And I stand for any questions.
I think that the code enforcement, that they should, if there's ever an award that should go out for a department, you know, that they are definitely in need of one, because they are amazing. They're always on the job. They're always doing a tremendous thing, and we put them on the front lines, and they handle it very well. So as far as the 3rd of July,
Yes, sir. So that's on a Friday. So 4th of
Correct.
July falls on a Saturday, so we'll be closed on that Friday the 3rd.
250th anniversary of us being a country. It's great. Go out there, have a good time, enjoy yourselves, but be safe and make it back home and make it back to work on Monday morning. So best wishes and congratulations on all of that. Commissioners?
Kudos to planning and zoning. I think it's probably one of the most unappreciated positions in the county. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, tend to look at planning and zoning as kind of being in the way, but I think they look out for the best interest of neighbors and citizens of Valencia County. So if you ever see one of them, please, a little bit of appreciation for those inspectors would be greatly appreciated.
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement.
Yeah. Again, yes, kudos to code enforcement. Coming from the background, hey, thank yous and notoriety usually goes unnoticed. But yeah, anytime they get a thank you or we appreciate you, guaranteed, they appreciate it. I know I used to.
Thank you, Chairman Commissioners. I'll pass that all along to them.
Moving right along?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item number 6, the swearing in of participants. Okay, so this goes going out to the public. Anybody that's here to give testimony or to speak in favor of or to speak against any of the action items that are coming forward, if you could please stand up and raise your right hand and repeat after me. This is your swearing in. So if you're going to stand up, you want to come forward and you want to talk, I need you to swear in. If not, have a seat. I state your name.
I, Ryan Baca,
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
tell the truth, the whole truth,
Okay, thank you. Have a seat. All right, moving right along. Action item 7A, variance number 2026-036, District 1, P&Z Commissioner Aguilar, Board of County Commissioners, Sice. Mr. Baca.
Chairman Commissioners, before this evening is the request for the variance number 2026-036. This is District 1, P&Z Commissioner Aguilar, BOCC Sice. Ana Estrada Salazar and Guillermo Lobato Luna request a variance of 9 feet to the accessory structure side and rear yard setback requirement of 15 feet to construct a detached garage with a setback of 6 feet from the property line. Legal description, subdivision Blythe Mobile Gardens, B527, Lot 36, 0.50 acre, map 72, MH number 600887, UPC 1010038, 200430, followed by 6 zeros, also known as 434 Diana Drive, Los Lunas, New Mexico, 87031, currently zoned Rural Residential District 2, RR2. And just as a reminder, this request was heard at our last meeting and it was tabled by the applicants, and they are here today. They did update their site plan, so hopefully that clarified a few things there for you guys. And the applicant is here to present to you today, and I stand for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Baca? Would the petitioner come forward? Guillermo, no?
Yes.
And you are Anna?
No.
I'm translating for him. My name is Guadalupe Lobato.
Do we have a, we don't have a letter for her, right?
Oh, she's just translating.
She can
I'm
translate, it's
translating.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as she's just translating and not representing herself for any of the answers.
Okay, Mr. Lobato Luna, go ahead.
He's asking permission for the one side, which is the one that we cannot do the 15 feet for. We do have our neighbors here that have also agreed to do that side. The reason why we can't do it is because of the trees that we have on this side, which is why we can't push it further to the side. And also we have our
Okay, so what's your name again?
Guadalupe.
Your first name is Guadalupe?
Guadalupe, yeah.
Okay, so as a interpreter, you have to tell us
I
what
know.
he says.
I know what he said. He had told me what he wanted me to say before.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Yeah, pull it
Okay,
down.
sorry.
Go ahead.
So we can't push it further to the side because of the trees. And it's the only convenient place we really have because like the sewer and all the drainage and stuff. So that's why we're asking permission for that one side.
Your district.
Okay. Mr. Baca, can we get pull up a picture of the site?
Sir.
Okay, so you're saying that the trees to the east, do you see that picture right there? Yeah. Those trees on the east are basically inhibiting you from putting it any further closer to the east property line, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
that's why we're placing it in that spot.
And what is that structure that's underneath the trees right now? What is that?
Those are sheds.
It's a shed?
Yeah. Just storage.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have any questions right now. Yeah.
Got a couple of questions. So the proposed garage is going to be about right here.
Oh, look at you.
What is the distance between this property line here and the proposed shed? Because it's not real clear on my side.
He says it's on the map. He says it's stated on the map.
You want to come see this so you can remind
Oh.
yourself of the distance? This is
About
where-
5166.
Yeah,
6 foot.
that was just to remind you so you knew the distance that you had it at.
Okay.
So you see where he's got 6 foot right there? Yeah. So the 6 foot, but this is supposed to be 15 foot, so he's asking for 9 feet.
9 foot.
Last time our discussion was right here.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Yeah, this is,
yeah, let me clarify something. So even though that they were before, they came before us before, they revised everything, and so we should not look back upon what they had, treat this as
new.
totally new.
Yeah.
So maintaining this is fine. So what we're looking at is just the single variance on this side of the property. So, I want to get your name right. I know it's hyphenated. Mr. Lovato, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the property, so the proposed garage is going to go on the southwestern edge. It's going to go 6 foot off of the southwestern edge,
That's the 6 foot that he's asking for.
correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So the eastern point of the garage, the proposed, where the garage is, that's going to be more than 15 feet away from the other property line, correct?
Correct.
Because I've got it marked at 15.19.
Yeah, that's the distance from the structure to the shed.
From the shed structure to the property line.
Right.
Okay. I got nothing more. Anything else? Okay, go ahead and have a seat. Is that all you want to say?
Yes.
Okay, have a seat and we'll call you back up in a second, okay?
Okay.
Okay, is there anybody present wishing to come forward and speak in favor of the petitioner? I'll ask one more time. Is there anybody here wishing to come forward and speak in favor of the petitioner? Sir, come on up, sign in, and state your name for the record.
Okay, my name is Salvador Carrasco. I'm in favor of them building that structure because I live on the east side of them. I mean, on the south side of them, and it doesn't bother me a bit.
And you received a letter from the county? You received a letter from the county?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
No, I'm not opposed to the building.
Could you bring that map back up and just to verify his? So your house is right below it, that one right there. If you look on the map up there, that's where you live?
Yes.
Alrighty. Do you have any, commissioners, you got any questions for him?
No.
Is that all you wanted to say?
That's it.
Alrighty, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Anybody else present wishing to speak in favor of the petitioner? Right now, this is the time. If you're wishing to speak in favor of the petitioner, is now the time. Please come forward. Hearing none, is there anybody present wishing to speak against the petitioner? Now's the time to speak against if you so choose so. Please come forward and sign in. Hearing none? Okay. Mark, this is yours.
I make a motion that,
You want a discussion first?
do we want a discussion?
It's up to you.
Discussions? Neither do I.
It's on you guys.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, so there's a motion to approve? I'll second. With a second. Is there any discussion on the motion with the second? Hearing none, call the vote.
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote? Yes. Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. All right, moving right along. I think that, I'll just make the comment that I think that they did a good job in revising their request.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming back and explaining a few things, kind of clarifying a few things, makes it a little bit easier for us. Thank you.
And the repositioning of the garage made a world of difference, so. All right, moving right along. 7B, action item 7B, solar field overlay zone number 2026-050, District 4, P&Z Commissioner Sublett, Board of County Commissioner Bazell.
Chairman, Commissioners, before you this evening is the request for solar field overlay zone number 2026-050. This is District 4, P&Z Commissioner Sublett, BOCC Bazell. Affordable Solar Group LLC requests a solar field overlay zone, SFOZ. Legal description, subdivision Lopez Lane Solar, Block B, UPC 1-005-038-096-252, located south of Highway 6 on the east end of Lopez Road, Los Lunas, New Mexico 87031. Currently zoned Outland District OD. The presenter is here this evening with a presentation for you, and I stand for any questions.
Do we have the petitioner present? Come forward, please sign in and state your name for the record.
Were you going to be, did you want me to pull up your presentation?
Please.
Okay, give me just a second.
Thank
I'm
you.
loading that now.
State your name for the record.
Lori Moy.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Lori Moy, agent for this project. Thank you for the opportunity to present this solar overlay zone project to you. I know this is not the first time that you have heard these presentations, and I was here for round one community solar projects in 22-23, and we were delighted to have been selected for 3 community solar projects in Valencia County, and they have been built and they are operational, which is quite, congratulations to Valencia County. Next slide, please. The proposed change is for a solar overlay zone to construct Lopez Lane Community Solar Facility. It does not change the underlying zoning as outland currently, and the solar overlay zone remains in place as long as the facility is operating as a solar facility, and then it will revert back. And I wanted you to see a picture. This is a picture of one of the solar projects that were selected in round one, and it's completed and it's operational. And this is the, if you were here, the CD Baca one that you all approved. Next slide, please.
I didn't see that. So, ma'am, I didn't see, it went from proposed change to purpose without an image in between.
There was no picture?
No, I don't have that picture on the slideshow.
We can
that I
give
need.
them the picture.
Okay.
No, you got to give it to him.
Check that it's not in here.
There's other pictures later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not in the slideshow.
There's other pictures later.
Yeah, there are other pictures later, but this is
Thank you.
one of the ones that were approved and is operational now. My apologies. I don't know where it went. That's a little scary. And the purpose of the project is to use Community Solar Act SB 84 that allows Valencia County to have a small-scale community solar 5-megawatt projects for its citizens. The program allows for communities household businesses that don't have access to solar for a variety of reasons to have access. SB 84, Community Solar Act, expresses a desire that to provide solar generation opportunities, and additionally states that 30% of the electricity, is that still correct?
Minimum 30, we're doing 50.
And we're doing 50. Of the electricity must be reserved for low-income customers and low-income service organizations. The solar overlay zone remains in place as long as the facility is an operating solar facility. The energy will be added to the existing local electric distribution grid that is used to power homes and businesses and other electric needs of the local community. And this is round 2. We're here for round 2. And submissions are due in September to NMPRC. And hopefully they'll make a decision early 2027, but they move slowly sometimes in their own way. The solar power produced at this site will be injected into the local electric grid and consumed locally. Next slide, please. This is the property. The property is vacant. It is an individual tract within a much larger parcel. There are several large and small scale electric facilities in the area. The parcel is at the end of Lopez Lane off of Tower, which apparently is also ATT. Access to the property will be taken from Lopez Lane. There is an existing electric distribution line along the parcel boundary west side to provide a path for the solar energy generated to leave the property and into the local grid. Electric distribution power lines serve homes and businesses, and you all see them every day, or maybe you don't see them. They are smaller scale lines seen everywhere. Next slide, please. The project is 55 acres, and the development area proposed is the entire parcel with 100-foot on 3 sides and 50-foot setbacks from the property line. The panels will be in rows and will track the sun's movement from east to west. Next slide, please. It's a 5-megawatt solar facility. The station will be operated remotely, no permanent employees on site. There'll be a 7-foot security chain link fence with an additional 1 foot of 3 strands of barbed wire, which will surround the solar array and components. Access will be controlled. The best cleaning mechanism for the solar panels is rain. However, if necessary, organic light cleaning compounds would be brought in and used to clean the panels. It's operated remotely. There's locked access. It's fenced to protect both the public and the equipment inside. There'll be limited traffic to this site after construction. And how much?
12 to 15.
Well, and the cost of the project is estimated to be $12 to $15 million. The next slide, please. And you could see that that's Lopez Lane. The site entrance is 25 feet wide, but everything is set back 50 feet from the initial gate to come in. And then to the north and the east and the south is 100 foot all around. And then the overhead line, I think you can see it faintly. Yeah, that is the electric overhead line that we will tap into for the energy generated. Next slide, please. This is a kind of a cartoon of what a solar tracker looks like. It's a post and rack tracker that moves with the sun. The posts are driven directly into the ground, then the racks are attached and the solar panels are attached to the racks. There are no permanent facilities for the site, only electric equipment boxes and solar panels on posts. The extended height of the rack is 6 feet 8 inches, which is a lower profile than that of a single-family home. It's about the size of a good basketball player. I just have to throw that out there. Dylan, how does it work? Next slide, please.
Looks like we lost one.
We lost another slide.
That's okay. So this is a community solar facility. The power is generated at the facility. As Lori mentioned, goes into the grid. By the way, I'm Dylan Connolly with Affordable Solar. I'm based in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I'm the developer for this project. Community solar was enacted in 2021 in order to provide an avenue for renters, folks who are low income, and folks who don't have, potentially retired and don't have tax credit, the tax liability that allows them to use tax credits for solar. So these facilities virtually will credit folks on their electric bills. They'll save on average about 20% on their electric bills. Around 1,000 low-income households per project will save 20% on their electric bill from this project alone. And they'll need to be located in PNM. Our company, I guess next slide.
We actually did have that slide.
Oh, we did.
We had one in between. Let's go over this one.
We got the gist. Affordable Solar is based in Albuquerque. We've been in business since 1998, and we primarily residential and commercial solar company, and we have served over 5,000 households in New Mexico. We were selected in the first round, as Lori mentioned, for 3 projects in Valencia County. The first project ever turned on in New Mexico was in Valencia County that we installed, and that turned on in September. So that's been providing 1,100 households with 20% savings since September last year. So, stand for questions.
Well, wait,
Great.
I'm not quite done yet.
One more.
Next slide, please. Oh, twice. Do you want to talk about this?
No, you're on benefits.
Benefits. We're adding renewable energy to the grid, to the New Mexico local grid for the benefit of local citizens, increasing the renewable energy opportunities in New Mexico, and creation of temporary construction jobs for the area. The project will be paying ad valorem taxes, and there will be 20 temporary jobs, excuse me. With that, we will stand for any questions you may have.
Dylan, correct? I got a question for you. You said that, that this would be offering a 20% savings, or, 20% savings passed on to the consumer, correct? But previously, when you first began, you had corrected this young lady and said, no, it's going to be doing 50%
The
for the
statutory,
low-income customers round 2.
yeah, Commissioner, thank you for the question. 30% of the facility is required to have low-income subscribers by law. We bid higher. We bid 50% of the power generated will go to low-income, and they'll receive a 28% discount on their credit, which ends up being around a 20% discount on their electric bill.
So on previous projects, because you mentioned them, what was the percentage that went to low income?
Same, yeah.
50%?
Correct,
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a 5 megawatt?
correct.
And you also said that, or Lori had said this in the beginning, she said that there's no timeline on it, that it would remain in place as long as it's operational. So is that basically like,
How long? So generally speaking, the agreement with the utility is 25 years. And then we model the potential to be able to feed the grid for another maybe 10. So on average, about 35. The warranty on the panels is 25 years. Usually when you have a warranty, it doesn't drop dead the next day. So we assume that it'll continue to operate.
The other thing is that this is a new project that, well, all of the community solar and the other solar that have been built, it hasn't been 25 years since the first solar was built. So nobody knows how long these things last. And I can tell you that when I first started permitting these things back in, when I started permitting the project, there was a particular brand of solar panel on it. And then by the time I got the project permitted, they had a completely different brand that was a far better brand than the first brand. And so I just know that these guys can come in and take the panels off and they put fresh panels on. It's not, it's just electric wires.
So how
panels.
often, Lori, would they have to do that?
Only if something hits it like a bird, which happens occasionally, or it gets shot out, somebody shoots it, and that has to happen. That's happened occasionally. And that's the only thing. I haven't heard of any failures, yeah.
So with other than delays for repairs, which would be, how long would it take for an average repair to take?
So we're Affordable Solar. We're based in Albuquerque. We develop the projects, we build them ourselves, we finance with New Mexico banks, and then we own them long term. And then we actually do the operation and maintenance ourselves. So we're an hour, actually 35 minutes to the site from our office. Generally, if we had to fix something, it depends on the parts, but usually we try and do about 48 hours for repairs and maintenance. You know, if the system's down, then we're not making money and we're not providing savings. So we're incentivized to continue to maintain it.
So do you have a technical crew on standby at all times for that?
Yeah, so we monitor, so our company is in charge of 600 megawatts of projects in New Mexico alone. And so we have an entire room of people with a control panel that are watching and getting alerts.
And so if they were getting alerted that, and I'm not worried about other solar things, the only ones that I'm concerned about are the ones in Valencia County. So if an alert were to be picked up in your room of experts, what would the response time be?
I think contractually, our team is, I think 24 hours for,
Eyes
urgent, eyes on it, and usually 48 hours on less urgent items. We're generally speaking, you're getting out the kinks for the first year, and so maybe a little bit more in the beginning, and after that, it's really just, probably once a year for checks after that, for the most part.
So if all the solar panels are being monitored, correct? Okay. So I would hope that, like, if there was a certain amount of attrition, let's say 5% of the solar panels, if 4% of the solar panels went down, you're not just going to say, well, we can run with it like that and we're going to leave those down, right? Everything is going to be 100% operational, other than lay time for repairs and replacement, correct? So everything's going to be 100% operational per se.
That's the goal. I think our contract typically is like 99% uptime. That's our goal for the year.
Okay. And one more thing is that you had said that 7-foot fence with barbed wire?
Yes.
Typically, it's a 7-foot total, so 6 foot.
Fence with
1 foot
12
barbed wire.
inches of barbed wire.
Yeah,
You
and
can't
that
come close to us right now.
Right.
Lori, if I could have you stand back there, please. Okay, thank you.
the electrical code dictates that it's either a 6-foot fence with 1 foot barbed wire or an 8-foot fence with no barbed wire. Yeah.
And how many access gates will you have?
Just one on this facility.
And that's the one that's going in off of
Lopez.
AT&T or
Lopez.
Lopez
Lopez.
Lane.
commissioners?
I have a question pertaining to runoff, because you are right there at the foothill of the Double L. Can you run through on how you plan on maintaining the runoff and things like that?
Yeah, great question. So we provided a draft grading and drainage plan, and we will make sure that our design catches the same amount of water before and after. and we do that usually with retention ponds. So our design usually will have some berms to kind of maneuver the water into the retention ponds so that the water flows that come through the site are equal before and after the solar facility. Generally speaking, although the panels would stop the water from landing on the ground, they just roll off and hit the ground next to it. So it's not a lot of impervious area from the facility. The panels are about 7 feet across, and then there's 15 feet of break, and then the next panel. So there's a lot of native grasses and such that grow in between.
I think the concern that Commissioner Aguilar is talking about is that because you're on the back side of the mountain right there in the Las Lunas where the double L is.
Yeah.
So on the back side, all the rain and the runoff that comes off the back of that going into your area.
Yeah, correct. We'll, as I mentioned, we'll make sure that we're diverting as much as possible, slowing the water down, and essentially maintaining how it was before, or making it better in terms of retention on site and cleanliness of water offlows. So we'll have a SWIP fence, silt fence around during
So
construction.
you're going to be basically still maintaining the responsibility of amount of runoff that it would normally get. You would still do that. You're not going to build up berms so that it would not go into that property and it'd be
Yes.
Yeah.
meleeed to another property,
Yeah,
correct?
if you go to the site plan, the general, to your point, we're maintaining the water on site as opposed to berming it to stay off the site. We'll accept the same amount of water as before, and we'll retain it and let go the same or less water than before.
That answer your question?
Do you have the picture of their drainage plan by chance?
So here's some of,
Right there. Flow plan.
That's the flow plan.
Yeah. There's elevation right there.
Next one, I think.
Yep, there you go.
That's the grading. This is, okay. Can
Yeah,
you,
you- on the
do you
west-
see that? Do you see that?
On the west side, you can see there's two basins. So yeah, essentially on the downslope, we'd be catching the water running off the site and capturing it on the west side there in those two basins.
Okay, now let me get this straight. The basins are on the left side, did you say?
Correct.
Okay, at the far
Oh, I see
end.
them.
Okay,
Yeah, Basin A and Basin B.
Again, it looks like there's a longer, thinner basin C along the north because it'll slope
okay.
from southeast or southeast to northwest. Is the
And
main
are
s-
those big enough to hold 100% of the runoff?
100% of the runoff equivalent to prior to. So
Okay,
not necessarily 100%, but equal or better to how it was before. And generally speaking, the code is more conservative, so in reality, it'll probably be less than before. No, slightly less.
You have actually 3 basins.
Yeah.
A, B, and then C. So, because it looks like what your surveyors or engineers have seen is that you have a diagonal downflow from the mountain through the entire plot. And it goes through the center. That's what those 2 lines are for, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So
Yeah.
that's going to be your main travel of excess water. So they put Basin C in there to grab most of that. Basin B will grab part of it, and I guess Basin A would act as a secondary in case it started to overflow. But we understand that you would not be responsible for the entirety of the water that would be passing through and underneath. You would just be responsible for the same amount of water that it would normally
Yes.
have, right?
Right. As well as slowing it down to similar speeds as
Right,
well.
right. Because of course you don't want that to dig under your solar panels or dig those out or anything like that, because then you're going to be getting a phone call and you're gonna say, man, I told him 48 hours and you gotta get out there, guys, let's go, so.
Will you have gravel or blacktop on?
So we do have compacted gravel roads, perimeter roads. You can see that the roads are kind of circling around, and no blacktop on those.
Okay.
So we're showing the improvement along the right of way for Lopez Lane. Right now, it's essentially a single track and mostly silt. So we'd be improving it to be a little bit wider and compacted so that we could bring in our equipment.
I think a lot of people, maybe in the audience, have the same question. Define low income. What is low income?
About 80% of median income is the legal definition. So it ends up being maybe about $55,000 for a family of two. A lot of fixed income. We find a lot of retirees as well as renters are folks we find for low income. If you already qualify for Medicaid, SNAPs, LIHEAP, those types of programs, those are folks that qualify. And you don't have to be low income to subscribe and benefit. We call it income qualified folks. If you're not income qualified, you can still save about 7% on your electric bill just by signing up.
So can you be a senior, let's say, over 70?
Mm-hmm. It depends on your pension, or Medicare, so it's still your income, whether or not it's from a, standard W-2.
Would that count for, forget it.
It can be a touchy subject. We try and use income qualified for folks. It's not a great feeling to say, sign up here if you don't make enough money. It's not really a great selling point. So we typically go door to door to educate folks about it, let them know about the opportunity for the discount, and point out that if you're income qualified, you get a bigger discount.
Or handicap, or maybe soon to be handicap.
Still income focused. Actually, I think there may be some disability on there as well, but I'm not positive.
Okay, anything else, commissioners?
You guys are brutal.
Okay. We don't have anything else. Go ahead and take a seat, and
Okay, thank you.
we'll call you back up in a second. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to present.
Is there anyone present wishing to speak in favor of the petitioner? If you're in favor of the petitioner, please, now would be the time to step forward, sign in, and state your name for the record. Hearing none, is there anybody present wishing to speak against the petitioner?
Take that as a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, good evening or good afternoon. Actually, I'm not against the solar. I love
Well,
solar.
before we go further, what's your name, hon?
Penny York. And the thing that worries me is just the disruption of this beautiful land that has been there for generations.
And Benny, did you receive a letter from the county?
Pardon?
Did you receive a letter?
No, I did not, but I have lived right below that area for 50 years.
Okay, give me just a second. So does Ms. Yorn have a?
Can I speak or no?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I'm just clarifying everything. 'cause
Oh, I
want-
see, I
okay.
understand. No, I live,
Chairman Commissioner, she did not receive a letter, so she did not have standing.
Okay, so Betty, you,
To clarify for him.
okay.
so I will give you time to speak.
Okay, thank you.
But understand that, Commissioner, she does not have standing. Go ahead.
Okay, my only concern is a wonderful project for a wonderful purpose. That I understand, and I appreciate that. It's wonderful. But the only problem is there's junipers there that have been there before Europe discovered America and decided to inundate it. And these junipers live, and there's not that many. I just wonder if there can be some kind of accommodation for those trees and some in the environment, so it's not just raised flat like we see people do up there. Is there any kind of seeding, or, because then the soil will just blow, it'll blow down to whatever.
Okay. Because you don't have standing, I really can't comment too much on
Okay,
what you're saying.
yeah.
But I'll take notes and I can pass that on.
Oh, okay, thank
Okay,
you.
so it's just that you don't have standing, so, but I still appreciate and applaud your comments.
Okay, thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you. Are you done? That's it?
That, I'm just concerned for the environment that
Okay.
it's onto, is what I am concerned about. And I admit 6 feet is better than 20 feet for a house. That's for sure. Thank
Okay. Thank you, Benny. Anybody else present wishing to speak against the petitioner? If you'd like to speak against, yes, sir. Please come forward, sign in, and state your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Williams, and I reside at 36 York Lane. And I'm
Did you
not,
receive a letter from the county?
I'm sorry?
Did you receive a letter from the county?
If I did not see it, but my neighbor across the street,
Okay, let me just check on you. 36 York Lane, does he have standing?
Chairman Commissioners, yes, that went out to a Sherry Elaine Williams at 36 York Lane, the mailing address.
Sherry Lane?
800
Yep.
Van Buren Place.
Okay, so is that somebody who lives in your house?
Sherry Williams is my wife.
Okay, so then you do have standing.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. So we do have standing, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm not necessarily to speak against it, but I have some questions that I would like to find out before I can decide if I'm against it. That, number one, did they do any kind of wildlife study on how this is going to impact? Because we've already had impact from someone in the neighborhood who decided that they would just act on their own and destroy the neighborhood anyway. And we don't want this to become another one of those. And also, that is going to have impact on our view of El Cerro. So there goes that. So definitely not happy about that. And my biggest worry is that this 35, 36 acres is the tip of the iceberg. Because that whole, property that's up there stretches all the way to Route 6. And it's sandwiched between the city park and my neighbor's house. Well, if this becomes nothing but one big solar field, eventually for the benefit of Amazon, like everything else, Facebook, that's a huge loss for our neighborhood without any gain. I'm sorry? Okay. Is this better? Okay, thank you. So that's my biggest concern is, we've already got one huge blight in the neighborhood, and we certainly don't need another one. So those, I'd like to kind of hear some answers to that, if we could.
What kind of wildlife are you concerned about out there?
Well, as I've gone higher up on that same hill towards the park. Of course, we have an abundance of coyotes and rabbits and things like that. But while I have not seen it personally, I'm pretty sure that there's other wildlife, there's birds. Past the small park that's there on the backside of the hill, there's a large collection of water. It's just like a bowl it picks up. And I could tell that many animals use that as their source of water. I just have not been there personally to witness it.
So your concerns are that with the building of this facility, it's going to impact the wildlife by, say, not allowing them to roam, or what is your main concern?
I don't know
What is your
what
main,
the
what
impact
is your main
would be.
concern?
I
What is your
would
main
just
concern? in this?
hope that it was a consideration when this project was in the design phase, and as it moves forward, that the wildlife is like, well, that's just a wildlife, we don't care about that. That this is only for the only concern is their profit, not what they're taking away or what they're affecting.
What would be the remedy on that? Or what are you asking for? Are you
That
asking?
if they had done a study and said that the impact to whatever the local wildlife is there would be minimal, it would not displace, something that they depend on, then that would remedy my concern as far as the wildlife goes. And if you're familiar with that particular area, we get pretty intense winds that come across there.
Right.
And I'm sure that once it's built and up and running, the way it's designed, it's not really going to affect that. But during the construction process, that could really cause us some issues. But again,
So explain to me what the issues would be with the wind.
that's going to, I mean, as they do it,
Yeah, explain to me.
I doubt they'll have an effective swept program. I mean, certainly the other one didn't. And all the dust they stir up is going to be blowing right into us. Because the strongest winds that we get are from the south and the west. So we're right downstream of it.
As of right now, what kind of vegetation is there to hold the sediment and the dust down right now? Is there a lot of vegetation out there right now?
Yeah, it's all vegetation. It's all wild, natural land. So that will be removed for 35 acres. And that will just be an open scar until they, if I understood correctly, intend to put some kind of base course down. Not real happy about having paved roads out there in the middle of,
I don't think they said that there was going to be paved roads or.
well, they said they were going to run asphalt around it.
No,
No,
they said there was
no
just
Oh,
going
did
to
I,
be,
did I miss that?
It's all going to be base.
it's just going to be, yeah, just,
Okay.
Clear.
Because the asphalt, of course, would
Yeah.
be a heat gain.
Yeah, no.
no, it's not going to be no asphalt.
No asphalt.
Okay.
They want it to be permeable.
Okay.
So any
No, that's
water
good.
that comes through
Yeah.
seeps to the ground.
No, that would definitely be more favorable. Lopez Lane currently, as it goes through there, is hardly a hiking path, much less a road. It's barely the width of one car, and it's just two ruts.
So right now, it's nothing but a dirt road. Lopez is just dirt road right now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It doesn't go anywhere. There's nobody on it. From where that happens,
So would you be a little happier if Lopez Road by chance happened to be paved instead of just dirt?
I wouldn't even say necessarily paved. That if it
Oh,
had,
it's
if it
not gonna
had
be
a
paved.
rock
It'll be
base
paved.
course on it, but how big is it gonna be? And
It'll
I
be
just-
25 feet wide.
Okay. So I just met what's going to be a new neighbor last week who is moving from Utah. He's owned this 10 acres directly on Lopez Lane. And certainly caught him by surprise. But yeah, as long as it's a good road, it's just not, with traffic and stuff going by, with it just being dirt, and that's just more. So as long as they build a proper road,
Okay,
maintain the
if
dust.
anything, they're gonna improve the road. They will improve the road, okay?
Right.
Now,
Hold on,
the
hold
tr-
on, Commissioner. I don't think that we can say that because they're not asking to do that, and that road is not within their purview to do.
I thought
because
that's what they were saying, it's a
The only
25
road that they had came forward and discussed was the road that was going around the circumference of the 10 acres that they're using.
My bad, I misunderstood.
They
Would
can't-
set me straight.
Yeah, they can't, and they don't have the authority to mess with that road or widen it or anything now.
Lopez Road, is that county?
Yeah, that's gonna be county.
Chairman Commissioners, I believe it is a privately maintained road. I would have to confirm
So-
that with Public Works, but in part of our department reviews, Public Works did call for a dust control plan during construction. So that would be part of the requirements while constructing this project. There would be a requirement to show that they have a dust plan in place to keep that under control, as well as the SWIP plan on the one and anything more than an acre being cleared in the land.
But even that dust control plan and all that is for the 10 acres that they're working on. It's not gonna be for the road.
And Chairman Commissioners, that does actually include the lead up into that property.
Well,
So-
I guess during the construction
Yes, sir,
phase,
during
but
construction,
after
yes.
the construction phase, the road is the road.
That's correct.
Right. So I don't want, I don't
No,
want Chris here to think that they're gonna get, the road graded every 6 months or something like that, because that's not gonna happen.
As he mentioned, that all the roads off of AT&T are privately maintained.
Okay.
The county, I've heard, had agreed to come out once a year and do York Lane, but I've been there almost 3 years and I haven't seen it.
I know that about once a year, if you talk to the Public Works Department and you ask them and you say, hey, can you guys just come and grade it for us, that they'll give you a grade, they'll send somebody out to grade it. Now, you might not get it tomorrow or next
No.
week or anything, but I think that they do give a free grade on that
Okay.
type of a road once a year. But you got to call them, you got to be nice, and,
Okay.
so, because they are doing it and the county would be doing it as a service to,
Okay.
the citizens of the county. But there's nothing stating that they have to do it. Does that make sense? So sometimes the best thing to do is just call and ask.
Yep.
If you just call and ask, then you trust me,
No, and I appreciate that, because like I say, I've only been there 3 years, and I don't know what any agreements or what's been done previously. I was just kind of waiting and see if it happened, but I agree with you that I should call and
Yeah.
ask them as a favor and a courtesy that, could they kind of take the ruts out and,
right.
that kind of.
And they're
thing.
not gonna get it like perfectly flat or anything like that, but if they can run a blade, they can run a rake and a blade over it real quick, and it could last you another couple of years, it can bring it back to,
And it's
get the
become
rumples out and
a
stuff.
little more important because of when they put up that metal fence there, now all the dirt and everything piles up against that fence and.
Well, it's a chain link fence, so the dirt and all that dust is gonna go through it, so, and
Yeah,
during.
well, it's not, it's a metal fence, so the dirt just has to stop and settle on the road, so now it's like this.
No, they said it was gonna be a chain link fence, 6-foot chain link fence with barbed
No,
wire.
no, I'm talking about on the previous project that's on the corner.
Well, we're not talking about that,
Yeah,
so.
but but all I'm asking for on the other one is, my concern is during the construction period. That I
Yeah,
have no idea how many vehicles will be going back and forth. So I don't care if they water the road or they do whatever, but whatever dirt and dust is on the site, it stays on the site.
Okay, Chris, I think that we've got everything that you got.
Okay,
So we
and then
will,
especially the view that we'll lose, that once this project's put in, that our view of El Cerro
I've
at
got that written
at
down.
that
and
point quits.
We will address that.
Okay,
Is
all
there
right.
anything else you'd like to say?
No, sir, thank you very much, I
Chris,
appreciate
I
the time.
appreciate it. Commissioners?
Nope.
Yeah, I love
Oh,
that shirt.
thank
That
you.
shirt is amazing. All right, is there anybody else present wishing to speak against the petitioner? Now's the time if you'd like to come forward and speak against the petitioner. Hearing none, commissioners? Hold on. You need to come forward, be recognized, hon. Go ahead and sign in and state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Maureen Ryan, 39 York Lane.
How can we help?
My question is there a timetable for this project?
No, that's what we're trying to get to.
Got it.
So now they're looking towards late fall this year, I believe.
Okay.
But until they get past us, and then from us, it goes to the county commission, the
Sure.
Board of County Commissioners. And then once they get past them, then I think it might even have to go out to a bid because I think they're competing against others, but I'm not sure. So, but I can ask that question for you, okay? Is
Okay, great. Thank you.
that all?
That's it.
Thank you, Maureen.
Thank you.
Okay, commissioners, questions? Concerns? I've got a list of stuff, so. Okay, you want to ask them? Sure. Let me see, is Chris, Dylan and Lori, would you come back up? Hopefully you guys were mentally preparing, right?
Yes.
So, well, this is mine, so I'll go last.
Couple of questions. We talked a little bit about dust control with people who were concerned. During the construction is what seems to be the main concern. How are you going to control dust control?
We typically run 2 water trucks a day and or 2 water trucks full time all day during construction. So they're going and grabbing water from a fountain or a hydrant nearby, and they're broadcasting the water during construction. So it's impossible to stop all the dust, but we do our best to knock it down during construction.
Another concern was wind, and how are you going to control things flying around in the wind? Obviously, you're going to put the fence up before construction. How are you going to keep from things flying around?
Yeah, so what goes up first is the silt fence, the black fence around the perimeter, and then typically we're bringing in the water trucks, we're knocking stuff down, and what we do to keep down the wind and the soil as much as possible is we don't actually remove the roots. We typically just mow the site, so we'll take down the shrubs and bushes to grade so that the soil still stays stabilized. And oftentimes what we find is after we're done, there's a lot of regrowth in those locations. Does that answer your question? And then in terms of blowing things off the site, it's part of our construction practices to make sure that we're not having trash blowing off the site. So it's part of our checklist for construction.
Okay. Give me just a second. Attention in the gallery, if you guys can please, gentlemen, if you guys could please show some respect for the people that are up here, because you're going to be up here pretty soon, and you want that respect given to you, correct? Thank you. Go ahead.
So everything will be either contained or to the point where it's not going to fly out. And be secure.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we're a construction team as well, and so that's part of our best practices is A, getting the fence up, but B, making sure our trash is being contained and put in a safe place so it's not blowing away. Yeah.
Last question I have is, I've asked this with other solar companies, and I'll ask this from you too, as far as your notice the solar fields on the south side of the hill are extremely reflective to the point where it's almost blinding if you're flying above them. Are you going to be using a type of solar panel that's non-reflective?
Yeah, the modern panels, actually, the facility that was turned on first is across the street from the skydiving airport. So we always have to do an FAA study, and then we use what's called ARC, anti-reflectivity coating, on our modules to knock it down. They track the sun, so the reflection really only happens if you are between the sun and the panel. So it's usually a brief period, but they do have an anti-reflective coating on them.
Some of these other solar panels or companies are stating that they are using non-reflective type panels. They absorb rather than reflect.
Yeah, same concept. They're, you know, it's optimal if we're absorbing sun, less optimal if we're reflecting it off. These are all black first solar panels is what we're using on this project.
I would just like to make a comment that when solar fields were first developed, they would come in and they would just blade them. Just like you were going to build a building on it in a parking lot. And now they come in and they, as Dylan was describing, they mow it. They mow it down so that the native grasses are still there holding the dirt together. Now, I'm sorry, Valencia County, when the wind blows, there's a lot of dirt in the air. And we will try to do our best to minimize the dirt that they see. I live in a construction zone and I get lots of dirt from the houses that are being built. So I appreciate that.
What's the travel time to that fire hydrant, and how many trucks, what size of trucks are you using?
I don't think we've identified which hydrant we've used on this project, but just thinking about the other projects, typically they're probably making at least a trip or two per hour per truck, and just running consistently.
Yeah, and we share the same concerns as the residents around there due to the fact that it's a sandy material, and the water just seeps right through it, and it's like a constant. You've got to be on it all the time. So just wondering the size, the travel time to the hydrant, back to the construction site. Again, like you said, you're not going to catch all the dust. It's impossible. But if we can catch most of it, that'd be great.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know, one of the benefits of being a New Mexico company is we do these facilities all the time. So this is the climate we're used to and the construction practices we're used to. We've installed the most solar in the state. So.
And another concern that was brought up was, has there been a wildlife study?
Yeah, so we conduct a biological survey prior to construction. So we have not conducted one for this site yet. So the biological survey will identify different wildlife resources in the area and items to avoid. Something we'll sometimes find is the burrowing owls. So those and others, we're trying to avoid nesting season. So we're being strategic about how we're scheduling construction around monsoon season and mating, nesting seasons and those items. This is, as was mentioned, just a small plot of land that we're going to own, and there's a much larger land that wildlife can move around as well.
And on the site, prior to or even after putting up your solar panels, is there going to be some sort of cover over the job site after it's finished?
Yeah,
Or are you going to leave it bare and allow growth to grow around your panels?
we are required to have 70% coverage of green, essentially, regrowth, prior to completing and signing off on the SWIP. So we will continue to maintain the site until regrowth has been established.
Okay, thank you.
My esteemed colleagues definitely asked you some really good questions, but I've got a couple here for you as well. So the impact of the view going across the valley. You said that the height, not to include the incline or decline of the actual panels. What is the maximum height of the solar?
You should have an example of that, or
But
it
I
was,
want it on the record.
okay, at 6 feet 8 inches when it's fully like this. And then it tilts, 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 and then it goes flat.
So at high noon when it's flat, or at night when it's flat, what is the height?
Yeah, it's usually maybe 5 feet tall, and then, and then it's turned.
Right,
So,
the inclination and stuff is gonna make it.
yeah,
larger.
it's more inclined in the morning.
Right.
And the
right.
evening.
And in the afternoon. Right. But at night, it goes back to the neutral stance of being flat or at a 90-degree or,
Yeah, so sometimes it'll stay in stow overnight,
Mhm.
which it's less, it's actually worse from a wind perspective to be flat because there's a lot more uplift. So it'll actually stow horizontal.
right. Okay, so 5 foot,
Yeah, flat-ish.
When it's flat.
Yeah.
At its highest
6 foot
point.
8 at its maximum apex,
Right.
right?
Yeah, it depends on the final panel. I think another question was asked about when would we build this facility? And we need to complete the facility before the end of 2029. We'll probably be in construction, if this moves forward in probably 2028.
Right.
So with the way things change, there could be a different panel at that point from the manufacturer, but it depends on which model we use. But around that, as mentioned, I think the zoning allows for residential in that area, and it's much smaller than a house would be.
Okay, so basically I'm asking that the deflection of the view is not gonna be, is gonna be minimal as compared to if there was a housing project put up.
Correct.
Right, okay. Second thing is, so if you understand that we are not the finalized thing, you have to go before the Valencia County Board of County Commissioners. They're the ones that finalize it. They use our abilities to get the story straight so that it makes it easier for them because they've got a lot of more important things that they need to, okay. So in knowing that, and you've already said that you have not had a wildlife or an environmental study done yet, correct?
Yeah, typically it's part of the process for the building permit. So prior to construction, we do the biological surveys typically.
Okay, so let me just clarify something. We're here with you. We go to the Board of County Commissioners. Hopefully, everybody approves the project. Then the project is submitted to New Mexico PRC, who does their thing on it, and hopefully they make a decision in early 2027. If this project is selected to be built, then that's when a lot of biological would be done and a lot of other things that you're asking today that we don't have answers for, we would get those answers. But it needs to be approved first to be built by the PRC as a
So-
community solar.
So what I'm asking, before you jump the gun there, is that would you be willing to, or do you think it would help your cause to have a wildlife and environmental study done prior to going to the Board of County Commissioners, if it were to pass here?
There's a cost. We're happy to get started on that process if that's helpful. I think it's a question to you. Would you prefer that we complete it? And it's not typical on the other 3 projects that we did in Valencia County.
It's just that seems to me to be the biggest concern of the people that came forward that live in that community, that they're worried about the juniper, the coyotes, and the rabbits, and like you brought up, the burrowing owls and stuff like that. So if there's a concern there, then I want to listen to my constituents and have their voices heard. So I'm saying, would it be that much, I'm asking you, would it be that much of a problem for us to ask you to have a wildlife and environmental study done prior, if it were to pass here, prior to going to the Board of County Commissioners?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. We can go and get the
We can
study.
make that happen?
Yeah.
Okay. I got nothing else. Commissioners?
No.
Just a touch on clarification, and we may have already talked about this to a point, but it's not real clear to me. Maybe it's because of my 35-year-old hearing aids. I started wearing hearing aids when I was born. A little bit about the harmony. How are you going to keep it? I know it's a difficult one. Solar fields are solar fields, I get it. How are you going to try or attempt or keep it within harmony of the surrounding area? I think that's what a lot of neighbors would have a concern.
Yeah, I think, it follows the contour of the existing contour. So in that way, it's a little bit more harmonious. It's more human scale. It's lower than a building, obviously. It tends to be a lot greener because stuff grows in between the rows. The all black panels are nice. It's not kind of speckled blue, like an older style panel. And it is just a small portion of a much larger parcel. Birds and insects and animals are all able to move in and out of the facility. Things like deer probably wouldn't be able to make it in and out, but what we've done in the past is if the biological survey suggested it, we could have some special openings for things like rabbits and foxes and such to move in and out of the facility and operate as if the facility really wasn't there. Yeah.
Commissioners, anything else? No. So this is on me, right? Yes, it is. So I'm going to make a motion with an amendment. A motion to pass to the Board of County Commissioners with the petitioner also presenting a wildlife and environmental report to the Board of County Commissioners. Do you understand that? So I'm making the recommendation that we go forward with this, but you have to take a wildlife and environmental report along with the report that you're going to, that you gave to us, to the Valencia County Board of County Commissioners. So that's the stipulation.
And could I clarify the definition? So typically we provide what's called a biological survey, and the environmental survey is called a phase 1 survey.
That's fine.
So I think those are the two we would suggest.
Yes.
We would go ahead and get it done.
Is that okay?
Yep, that sounds great.
So you're good on that?
Yep.
Okay, so that's my recommendation. So that's my motion. I made a motion.
Commissioners, there's a motion on the floor to approve with the conditions listed.
Okay. I'll second.
Okay,
The
there's a
motion.
motion and a second. With a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? and
Confuse the
second?
hell out of me, boy.
Hearing none, call the vote.
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote? Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, moving right along. Action item 7C, variance 2026-052, District 2, P and Z Commissioner Freeman, Board of County Commissioner Richardson.
Chairman, Commissioners, before you this evening is the request for the variance number 2026-052, District 2, P&Z Commissioner Freeman, BOCC Richardson. Gabriel Rodriguez requests a variance of 50 feet to the accessory structure front yard setback requirement of 60 feet to construct a carport with a setback of 10 feet from the edge of the right-of-way of El Cerro Loop. Legal description: subdivision, land of Lorenzo and Lillian Notero, Tract B, UPC 1-012-037, 120510, followed by 6 zeros, also known as 3 Horseshoe Trail, Los Lunas, New Mexico 87031, currently zoned Rural Residential District 2, RR2, and I stand for any questions.
Do we have the petitioner? Go ahead, come forward, sign in and state your name for the record. Names?
Gabriel Mena.
Javier?
Gabriel.
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 Yeah.
Are you the only one speaking, Gabriel?
My name is Alex Gandara. I'll be translating for him.
Translator?
And we do have an authorization for him to speak as well.
Okay. And the gentleman? Are you going to be speaking or no?
I will be, yes.
What's your name?
Darrell Owens, neighbor, 5 Horseshoe Trail.
So are you
Okay.
speaking with them or are you speaking for them?
For them.
Okay, then now's not the time, so you can go have a seat.
Right.
Go ahead.
Español.
¿Qué quieres?
Estoy pidiendo, vamos a hacer para pedir por un carport, entonces estoy pidiendo un poco más de terreno para el cerco, para poder yo maniobrar con mis carros, para poder tener espacio.
Okay.
So he wants to build a carport closer to the northern end of his property. He's requesting a variance to build a carport closer to the north end side of his property to have a turnabout once it's built.
Can we get an overview on this? So where's it going to be?
So it's going to be on the north end of the property.
You have to ask
Unfortunately-
him, you're the translator. You have to ask him.
¿Dónde lo quiere poner?
En la parte donde está la flecha, en esa parte de atrás.
So right about where your cursor is.
Okay? And it's,
So- Sorry, sir.
no, you're okay.
This Google map doesn't actually show the existing on the property. There's a home already existing there. So this is an older picture of the property itself.
Did you supply a diagram of the way it's going to be?
I supplied a site
Yeah,
plan.
Chairman Commissioners, would you like me to pull that up on the screen?
Yes. That one?
Looking at section 7.
Mr. Baca, can you zoom in on that yellow area? I can't really see the numbers. There we go.
Chairman Commissioners, I don't know if it's the best scan on this image, but it's difficult to see even from my end. Chairman Commissioners, it is clear on the
Yeah.
paper in your packets. If you need need me to clarify any numbers on there, just let me know and I can let you know on this.
Mr. Baca, if you could zoom in a little bit. Right there. Okay, so Alex, could you ask Gabriel, the yellow is the carport and what's the black? Or the shaded area?
Me está preguntando, el amarillo es el carport, ¿qué es lo que es de abajo? Como su gravel.
Y lo que está en los lados es el gravel. Sí, todo eso es gravel.
So the yellow is going to be the carport. The shaded in front is the existing gravel that he has.
Chairman Commissioners, it is difficult to see on here, but here right above where it says B for tract B, it does say gravel driveway. It's a difficult, it does say gravel driveway on the site plan here, right above where it says tract B.
Yes, okay.
But it's very difficult to see, but
Okay,
that is
yeah.
gravel driveway there.
So why is this the only place that you could put the carport? Because according to the letter that was submitted, it says that trees do not make it possible to put it closer or off of that easement or
Preguntando de los árboles. So los árboles están como casi 60 pies, ¿no?
if you move that carport more south, Alex, if you move it more south, then it still seems like you would have enough room without asking for a big variance.
The problem he has is he has his own construction company and he has flatbeds. So the flatbed plus the truck, he has to have a big space to be able to actually pull in and drive out.
So is this going to be used for commercial parking?
No, that's just going to be for his own personal stuff.
So, but you just brought up a company with flatbeds.
But it's his work.
So it's commercial?
No,
You're not asking him.
su trabajo es comercial.
No, no.
No,
No
it's
es
his,
compañía ni nada.
it's not a company. It's just work.
But it's parking for company vehicles.
Es parking para su compañía.
Tengo mis cosas. Son cosas mías, pero no de compañía.
They're his personal items.
So what kind of construction is this?
¿Qué es lo que hace?
Yo hago estaco.
He does stucco.
He does stucco, so he has, say
How big are the
flatbeds.
trailers?
I'm sorry?
How big are the trailers?
¿Qué tan grande es su trailer? La flatbed?
A veces de 16.
It's 16 feet.
How many?
¿Cuántos tiene?
Una.
One.
So he has one.
Una y
How
una de
big is the
14
carport?
pies.
The carport is roughly 60 by 35.
Did you say the length is 16 or 60?
60.
60?
Yes.
Okay.
For one trailer?
One trailer, his personal trucks.
So he utilizes the truck to go to and from home, but not necessarily working out of his home, is that correct?
Correct.
But he's parking the company vehicles under the carport.
Correct.
So it's company parking.
I guess so.
Ask him.
Tiene licencia por su compañía. No. He's not a
No es
licensed
compañía.
contractor.
No es compañía.
It's not even a company. He just does side work.
But you said it was for company vehicle. Ask him. He said it was for.
No, I said that. He didn't say that. That was my
Okay, then
mistake.
Okay.
what is he saying?
Lo va a usar para nomás poner sus carros.
Son dos trailers, es la 16 y una de 14 de dompeo. Y
Okay.
tengo una troca, no tengo mi troca, no puedo meterla al garaje, no tengo.
Okay.
Son papelitos.
So he has a dump truck that's 14 feet, a dump trailer that's 14 feet. He has a 16-foot flatbed and also his truck. And he can't put them in his garage because that's currently being stored.
And those are all for his company, correct?
¿Son para su compañía o los usa nomás?
No, pues yo todo lo que he hecho ahí, la grabo y todo eso, yo la cargo en mis cosas.
Mr. Baca, what is this property zoned?
Chairman Commissioners, this property is zoned rural residential 2, RR2.
Okay. Is he allowed to store dump trucks and 16-foot trailers on his property?
Chairman Commissioners, that would be something we do need to get more clarification on. If it is commercial activity that is not necessarily allowed within the zoning, there is an option for some home occupation. That does limit the amount of storage space. I would have to look into the amount. I think it's no more than 600 square feet of storage space for any equipment or anything to do with the home occupation. Yeah, typically this is not a commercial, so the primary use of this land needs to be residential or agricultural. There, as an accessory use, then we can look at other options, but we need more information if it is going to be something that's used for commercial activity.
Okay, Alex,
Yes, sir.
did you understand what he just
Yes, I
said?
did.
Can you explain it to Gabriel?
So, básicamente están diciendo que su terreno es residencial y el uso del terreno tiene que ser solo por lo residencial. Básicamente las trailers no se consideran residencial, ellos son más bien comerciales.
¿Y los vecinos por qué tienen tanto eso?
Can you
He
pull
was
up
unaware of
a map of, with the zoning?
Yes, sir.
It doesn't need to do that.
I just want,
Go ahead. Go ahead, you can pull it
I
up.
want a quick picture, and then
And Alex, if you could explain to Gabriel that the land that he is living on is for living, for residential. It's not for commercial. And it's not for parking commercial. And it's not for, so that's the problem that we're running into right now.
Ujú.
So if you can explain that to him, and that on the map, it's showing that that land is for residential, not commercial.
Básicamente están diciendo que su terreno es residencial y no es uso para comercial. Básicamente nomás para vivir.
What do you say?
Is that okay?
So does he want to stop this proceeding right now and come back to it later? Or does he want us to continue forward?
¿Quiere seguir con el procedimiento o se quiere esperar hasta otro rato?
¿De qué?
I guess he's not understanding why he would have to stop the proceeding.
Because what he's asking for
is not permitted
is not permitted.
on that piece of property because of the zoning.
Even if we said he could have a 50-foot variance, which is a huge variance, okay? Even if we said that he could do that, he still couldn't park the trucks there. He can't park his vehicles there. And code enforcement would be on him within a week.
Okay. Lo que están diciendo es, lamentablemente, como no es comercial la propiedad, no se permite el uso de comercio. En este caso serían los flatbeds. O sea, y aunque le dieran el permiso de hacerlo, después se lo cierran. Porque no tiene el permiso del terreno. Básicamente tuviera que cambiar el terreno de residencial a comercial.
No. Y eso es lo que quiero también para tener algo de espacio, sombra para, ya sea cualquier cosa, lavar hasta mis carros ahí, no tiene que ser precisamente comercial. Es algo, una comodidad para uno.
He basically says that he would like the carport too to be able to even clean his vehicles and have shade of any sort, because it's really open in his land. But he was unaware about everything that you guys are mentioning.
And with bringing up the cleaning of his equipment and stuff, that opens up a whole new can of worms.
That's
Okay.
environmental, that's because if he's washing stucco, if he's washing all that stuff off his vehicles, it's going into the
ground,
the roadway, the ground, that just, and that's why that land is not for that type of use. That land is for living, for residential, for homeowners, for families growing up, you understand?
Mhm.
If he wants to do that kind of stuff with those type of vehicles, it has to be on commercial property.
¿Sí entendió? Básicamente, aunque quisiera, por ejemplo, lavar los carros, ya se va a meter en otros líos, porque ¿dónde va a caer el agua? Todos los materiales, todo lo que...
Pero ¿cuáles
¿Dónde se va a
materiales?
exponer? Yo sé, pero es lo que básicamente están diciendo. Usted mira,
Las decisiones de ellos.
¿quiere continuar o quiere?
No, continuar para qué.
Porque la puede tablar y a lo mejor le puedo diseñar algo en otra parte.
Qué tan grande, o sea, que algo.
I guess his question is, what would be permissible in size for him to be able to do something of this nature?
He would have to,
Chairman, Commissioners, would you like me to answer that? I actually just pulled up the
Yes,
permissive
yes,
uses specific
please.
to a home occupation. So this would be considered a home occupation. The primary use needs to remain the home as the primary use of the land. The business needs to have a current Valencia County business registration. It needs to be clearly incidental and secondary to the use of the premises as a dwelling. The business can have no exterior display, including signage. The business can have no exterior storage of materials. The business will not be able to emit nuisance, so noises, odors, etc. The business will only be allowed to employ members of the family who live in the dwelling, and the business cannot occupy more than 25% of the floor area of the dwelling or more than 600 square feet of an accessory structure. These types of home occupations include medical transportation, telemarketing, internet sales, mail order businesses, etc.
Alex, were you able to understand any of that?
Some of it.
Okay, if you can,
basically, if you're running a business from your home, you're limited on what type of how much of a business you can run. The business has got to be family-owned business. It's only family. It can only be a certain percentage of the property. It can only be, if you make a dwelling, if you make a carport, it can only take up like 40% of that carport because the rest is for residential. But if you're saying, well, we're making a carport 60 feet wide by 35 feet deep, and that's just enough room for the 2 trucks and a trailer, well, then the 2 trucks and the trailer, the business part, is taking up 100% of that dwelling. That's not to code. So you can't do that. You'd have to make a larger carport to do those 3 vehicles because the amount of work that's going to go into it, and we haven't even got to neighbors or anything like that, but the neighbors are going to be like, nope, they're going to be complaining if he's washing his vehicles and it's going off into the street, if it's going off into the gutters, if it's, and the neighbors are like, whoa, wait a second, you know, this is not what we aim for. Because understand, like, when if I'm at my home and I wash my truck, it goes down the driveway, it goes into the gutter, right? It flows down into, it's going to happen with him. And if it's stucco material or concrete or anything like that, you understand that that could be detrimental to the entire neighborhood. And that's why these certain zones are set up. Where his home is a residential area. It's not a commercial area. He's wanting to run a business out of a residential area. And that's why there's rules, so that everybody can live in peace and harmony. If his business is growing, and I hope it is, because I applaud business, I'm pro-business, then he needs to get a piece of property that's commercial where he can do all that stuff at. He just can't take it to his house and expect everybody to bend. Because asking for a 50-foot variance to run a business or park commercial vehicles or clean commercial vehicles or lube and change oil and change tires and, oh, I got to fix this or fix that and bend this or bend that or weld this or weld that in a residential community. You get it?
I do.
So if you want to explain that to him, and then we can go on with the next step with this.
Básicamente que cuando hace una estructura así tiene que ser parte de su casa y el uso que le va a dar ahorita no es uso en lo que es residencial. Y como el terreno es residencial, no se permite porque tiene que ser como 40% de uso. En este caso va a ser casi 100, porque es donde van a usar las trocas, todo lo demás. Y aparte lo que es lavar temen ellos que lo que venga saliendo los carros, ya sea el jabón o primero dónde va a caer y segundo, si caen los vecinos, va a haber problemas.
Does he under,
If I
go
could,
ahead.
yeah, if I could suggest something,
Ujú.
Mr. Baca brought up home occupation permit. If you want to put this on hold, talk to Mr. Baca about what is needed for a home occupation permit, that would allow him to do his business out of his home and get the specifics from him, and then come back to us, revisit the carport, because again, 50 feet variance is a lot. And a variance, you have to prove hardship in order for us to say, okay, well, we're going to grant you a variance. And what you're asking is actually astronomical. A 50-foot variance is like going 0 lot line, you know? So that's kind of tough. But if you want to, put this on hold, get together with Mr. Baca, discuss a home occupation and what is needed for a home occupation, and go a little bit more in depth. Come back, revisit this, and we can go from there.
Lo que sugieren es que lo pongan pausa por ahorita. Que hablemos con él para agarrar un permiso. Un permiso especial se le va a pedir en su casa. Y ya podemos volver a esto y visitarlo de nuevo. It's okay. He agrees.
Okay.
So what are you asking? So is he asking to rescind this for now?
He's asking just to put it on hold.
Okay. So
Oh,
you're
pretty
gonna put it on hold?
Yeah, he-
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So this 2026-052 has been tabled by the petitioner. Right? Going on to 7D. Action item 7D, Solar Field Overlay Zone 2026-057. District 2, P and Z Commissioner Freeman, Board of County Commissioner Richardson. Petitioner,
Do you want me to read it in?
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. Chairman, Commissioners, before you this evening is a request for the Solar Field Overlay Zone 2026-057. This is District 2, P&Z Commissioner Freeman, BOCC Richardson. Solarstone, New Mexico, LLC requests a Solar Field Overlay Zone, SFOZ. Legal descriptions for 33 tracks, subdivision, El Cerro Mission, Unit 5, Block 1, tracks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and Block 2, tracks 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, located in the northeast corner of Manzano Expressway and El Cerro Mission Boulevard, Los Lunas, New Mexico, 87031, currently zoned Planned Development District PD and Rural Residential District 1, RR1, and I stand for any questions.
Petitioner, come forward, sign in, state your name for the record. Mr. Baca, while the petitioner is signing in, 7D and 7E, that's the same thing, they're just side by side?
Chairman, Commissioners, no, they are near each other, but they are slightly separated. So
Okay, all
the
right.
second request will just be a little to the north from this one.
Okay, that's fine. I was just seeing if they were side by side, then we could just bring that all into one, but,
Yeah, they are separate
Yeah.
requests that'll have to go in front of the PRC
yeah,
separately.
that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Just verifying. Thank you, sir. Oh, yeah, El Cerro and. Need your name.
Hi, good evening, Commissioners. My name is Tom Childs. I'm here with Solar Stone, New Mexico. We're based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. On a personal note, I'll say there's a number of us on the team working on these projects, and they asked for volunteers to come speak, and I raised my hand pretty quickly and had the honor of being selected. I had only put my hand in New Mexico previous at the Four Corners Monument when I was a kid, so it's a privilege to come down here and see this enchanted land. And to clarify the earlier point, the two projects under consideration today are considered sister projects. So we anticipate very similar timelines, operational dynamics, and material selections. For the purposes of the state program, we split them into separate projects to be eligible given the 5 megawatt cap. Another point of clarification I'd like to make is you may have heard of these projects before. We previously applied in July of 2022 for these very same projects, and nothing has changed in terms of the footprint or the high level design. I think the solar modules were updated given the changes in technology between then and now, but everything is substantially the same. To expand on that, we very much would have liked to be going by now, but the state level community solar program has been rather slow awarding contracts, so we're on the wait list. And I'm here today to reapply so that our projects are in a certain state of readiness for when the time comes and we're called upon to enter the program, we can say that we have our permits in place. I don't have a presentation, but I'd like to go through the project point by point. If at any point it becomes boring, please stop me. Given the county's experience with these projects before, I don't want to say anything that you know already. But to clarify, this project is going to participate in the SB 84 Community Solar Act program. So we will be applying to the PRC when the time comes, similar to the plan of the project that you heard from previously tonight. The proposed solar site is located in the southwest quadrant of the Manzano Expressway in Airport Drive intersection. The area of the affected property is approximately 42 acres. The footprint itself will be about 38 acres. And once the solar panels are in place, we anticipate having a vegetation management plan active that maintains a certain level of vegetation with desert scrub ground cover. It's consistent with the mesa ecosystem. So due to our desire to participate in the state community solar program, we are requesting a zone change to SFOZ, overlay zone. We expect to begin construction within the timeframe of this permit. So we don't have an exact construction timeline, but we think 2 to 3 years is a reasonable expectation for when we can get going with these projects. We do want to point out that the project is located in an existing potential growth area and priority growth corridor. The power generated by the solar array will support an increase in power needed by these developments. We expect that roughly 1,000 homes will be able to take advantage of the 5 megawatts of solar produced by the array, especially by low-income households. We feel that a solar field overlay zone is appropriate. We feel this will promote the use of underutilized land, further economic development, and help diversify energy production consistent with state-level guidelines. So as part of our application, we have submitted a site plan complete with all utility lines. We have submitted a preliminary architectural plan decommissioning plan and are prepared to provide a form of surety for a decommissioning bond. So we do want to point out that there are multiple underlying zoning districts, partly rural residential and partly a planned development district. So we are requesting a change of zoning designation for the overlay during the life of the project. We plan to be fully compliant with setbacks that are in place by the underlying zoning designations, in these cases 35 feet from right-of-ways and other non-participating property lines.
Mr. Baca, can we get an overhead on the property?
We expect to have one private fence entrance. The idea is to reduce conflict for existing traffic and pedestrians. Operation and maintenance will be handled by on-site employees, no more than 2 employees periodically in any given month. There will be maintenance of the equipment and landscaping provided by these employees. We propose that the request will meet all use standards currently in place. The site is compatible with existing surrounding land uses and will not preclude the land from future agricultural or other development uses. The project engineering and design calls for a single axis tracker, a type of design you're familiar with now. Honestly, the previous applicant went through a lot of relevant material to our project. These solar farms are becoming more copy-paste, so there's a consistency in how they're designed, and ours is no different. So we expect a tracking system, maximum height of 6, 7 feet, and no more than 5 feet high when at level position. One access road is being requested, the one point of access that I requested earlier. This is off Sands Loop on the east side of the property. Provide an approach of to the solar arrays for light-duty service vehicles for maintenance and equipment purposes. This road should be no more than 16 feet in length. A 6-foot-high chain-link fence will be constructed around the perimeter of the solar arrays. This chain-link fence will be fully compliant within National Electric Code guidelines, and we hope to use what we call wildlife-friendly fencing, although that final decision won't be made at this early stage of the project. We have conducted some preliminary environmental studies. So we call these desktop reviews of hydrology, floodplains, wetlands, and protected species. And we've included these as appendices to the application. We will be fully in compliance with stormwater management best practices. We anticipate silt fences, straw wattles, and retainment basins as necessary. In conclusion, we are seeking a zone change to operate a 1 5-megawatt solar project in Valencia County. And we appreciate your consideration, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Mr. Baca, what is that property zoned right now?
Chairman, Commissioners, I'll pull up the zoning here. It actually has split zoning, so because it is multiple lots here, which are going to be falling under a common lease agreement, there will be planned development as well as rural residential 1. So let me take off this. So I'm going to clear this so we can see it a little better. So here along the western portion, the darker blue shade, that is the planned development section. these lots to the eastern portion of it are the RR1 properties.
Right.
Along Sands Loop.
And Tom, your solar overlay is going to cover all that land, right?
Yes, sir, the overlay does. The
Okay.
solar array itself will not.
So, so would they have to negate the roads and all that as well?
Chairman Commissioners, I would have to talk to our Public Works Department on that. I actually, give me
Yeah,
a second. Let me check with my director.
Because even if the property owner, because I'm assuming that it's all the same property owner, correct?
Correct.
Even if the property owner says, yeah, I want to lease out all that on a 20-year lease, the plan is to have roads. So those roads would have to be negated before they could be graded, right?
Chairman Commissioners, those easements exist. As easements, you're not allowed to build any structures over them. This looks like something maybe we had a little oversight on. I would need to get a little clarification from Public Works on something like that.
And hold on a second, sir. And the gentleman here, Tom, correct?
Yep.
He cannot do that. It would have to be the landowner that would do that.
Chairman Commissioners, I believe that is correct. But once again, when it comes to roads and vacating roads, I would need to confer with our Public Works Department and the Roads Department more specifically.
But there's roads there.
Yes, sir. You are correct.
And if there's roads there, you can't build on them. What do you know about this, Tom?
Yeah, so we're aware of the existence of the roads. We're used to accommodating public rights of way. If need be, we're prepared to negotiate an access agreement with the county if that's
Well,
required.
if you look at it, now, do his solar overlay on there. So you see the property right there, the triangular property that you're trying to get the solar overlay for, right? He's gonna pop it up real quick. So you're saying that you can do a solar overlay, totally fenced in with, what was your words? Animal-friendly, wildlife-friendly fencing, but yet you're still gonna have to maintain those two roads.
Right where it looks like a wishbone. Supposedly you're not allowed to build over those roads.
So we're prepared to navigate obstacles. If we can get a crossing agreement, we can bury gen-tie lines underneath there. We have an excess of land on this project, so we don't need every square foot, and we can accommodate obstructions like that.
Would you, how many solar farms do you have? Does your company have?
Under development, many dozens.
How many that are completed?
A handful. It's a relatively new field, new company, but we have certainly many projects operational currently.
Okay, so in those projects that are operational, do any of them have open to public access roads driving through them?
To my knowledge, no.
So why would this one have that?
Well, we anticipate navigating that with the commission. This is likely
So again, for you, you're not the landowner, you would be a land leaser, okay? So the landowner, in order to lease that land for your purpose, would have to get that fixed prior to giving a lease to you, correct?
Yes, that sounds correct.
We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about a solar overlay.
Correct.
In your assessment, do you think that this land is at a point where you can get a solar overlay for it?
We do.
Even with easement roads on county maps all over them?
Yes, we believe it's an issue of an agreement with the county to obtain either a crossing agreement or a strategy to fence off those roads.
Tom, look at the map.
Yeah, I'm aware of it, yes.
Show me what kind of crossing agreement that you can come up with that's going to continue, that's going to make your solar field secure, but yet still maintain access to John Q. Public for Valencia County of New Mexico and have those roads open. Can you think of one?
Yeah, I think I can. I think we can
Tell
have
me, explain it to me.
I think we can have a fencing strategy in place. We can bury the lines as needed. The acreage is there. It's just a matter of fencing off appropriate areas into array blocks. We're quite used to controlling public access to these.
Am I wrong on this?
I see where you're going, and that's, again,
They can't control public access to that because it's got to be open if they're going to do it. If he's saying it's got enough land, sure, he might have enough aerial
Yeah.
or, proverbial space to do it, but then a fence would have to go on the outside of this road here, come across, come around, come like this, come to the inside of this road, come around, and then a fence would, so it's like, that's actually like 3 different fenced areas. Just from,
Yeah, that's entirely normal, I would say. There's no reason they have to be the panels all in one area. We're used to fencing them off separately for different reasons.
okay, with that being said, your access point to each one of these is how?
Well, we anticipate driveway permits being needed for each access point to every array subblock.
so how many array subblocks do you anticipate creating here?
Well, we're a little early in the design. I might point us towards what we've submitted. I don't have at my fingertips that, but perhaps Ryan, you could pull up the exhibit?
Yeah, it doesn't show the road in there, so there's no,
I think our design team anticipates this being a future solved problem. We're ready to work with the county to make accommodations as necessary.
Current required roads, would the wiring for the solar panels be underground or would it be above ground?
Well, that's a geotechnical determination. Decided by.
I'm just wondering if it's going to be in harmony with the environment, if it's going to be above ground.
Sure, yeah, it's a good question. We look at, design requirements. We look at any conditions the county might place on the building permit. It's not unusual to request buried lines, and we have no problem doing that, especially in these environments.
okay, continue. No, I want to hear what you got to say. Or are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, have a seat. We'll call you back in a second. Huh? I don't see a viable way that this is going to be used, but it very well could be that we just don't have enough information. I think that the Public Works, right? Public Works needs to get involved on this one and clarify if they can even do that, even with the solar overlay. I don't have a problem with the solar overlays, I just think that with the land, the original zoning of the land and the easements that are already mapped out, I think that we would be cutting our own foot off on this one because it's just not right. We would be breaking our own rules.
Well, do we want to hear from the residents
Well, I mean, we can, but I
and
think
have
that,
discussion?
Well, that's why I think that we're having discussion now, because I don't even know if it should go that far. I mean, I feel kind of strong about this on this one. And not because I'm against it or not because I'm for it,
Yeah.
because I think that we need more information,
Yeah,
you know, so.
yeah, again,
Right, right. And
Yeah.
like Tom was saying that, oh, well, we can put lines underground and we can do this and we can do that. And it's like, well, okay, so now then by doing that, he recognizes that there are easements that have to be maintained. So that's just going to multiply the problems that's going into this. Yeah, I think so. And because the diagram is, let me see here. And the road comes in like a horseshoe, like this.
yeah, like a little wishbone and stuff.
Yeah, and then there's a road that comes off to the
Yep.
side. So then, so you see how it's something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then, so this is a real easement, it's a real road, blah, blah, blah. So this has to be open to the public, right? So he's saying that, oh, well, we'll just put a fence all around here. We'll put multiple fences on everything. So if he puts a fence there, puts a fence here, puts a fence here, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's,
And that's fine, that could be a possibility, but show it to us on paper with a submittal ready for us.
exactly, exactly. So what are we asking for on this? Do we go forward with this, or do we bring him back up and explain bring him back up and see if he wants to table it?
I'd like to see something more along the lines of having.
And we don't even know, you know, Mr. Baca, so I don't know if we should ask the petitioner to table this, or I don't know if we should table it, because was there a lack of preparation on our side, or is it a lack of preparation on their side?
Chairman Commissioners, those road easements are definitely something I overlooked, and it looks like on their team, they may have overlooked those as well based on their site plans.
Right.
I don't know if this is something you would want to do, but the property owner of all of these lots is here tonight. He might have some background and some history on those specific easements. I don't know if you want to hear that tonight or not, if that has any bearing on your decision today.
Do we go further on this and look into it? I mean, I think no matter what, we need the Public Works to come in.
These are dedicated, these are already dedicated easements, they are in place.
Correct. These were all platted during the original subdivision, and based on the configuration of them, if we look at it here, based on this, it looks like they may have even been dedicated to the county, because typically this would have its own individual owner for that specific road.
Right.
However, by not listing an owner, typically that indicates that they may be county-owned
Right.
and maintained easements. So this is something I definitely would need specific to these easements and any roads in this area. I would definitely need to get some clarification from Public Works on that.
So
Because if, I say we table it, because if we see with this, and if we deny, then it's harder for them. So if we table it, they look at it, they discuss us with county and with.
and I understand that, and it gives our office ample time to get in touch with Public Works so that we can get clarification from them. But this was not our fault. It's, I would be willing to share some of the fault between, because nobody picked up on it. So I'm just concerned about re-registered letters going out for when they bring it out of table. Just table it on our point from us? Okay. Okay, Tom, go ahead. Are we in agreement with that? I agree. Okay, Tom, come on back up. This is not your fault. And this is not the landowner's fault, and this is not your team's fault, and this is not our team's fault, okay? It was overlooked by multiple agencies here, from what we can guess. And more time needs to be put into this. I don't want to hear from the owner now because I don't want that to muddy the waters. I don't want to hear from any of the witnesses right now because I don't want that to muddy the waters. Us bringing it up as the commission here is what we're supposed to do. So we're not muddying the waters. We're bringing this up. We're bringing this to everybody's attention. This is what we do, okay? So what we are going to do is we are going, and the reason I'm telling you this is so that when you go back and you talk to your people and you can say more information has to be brought forward on this, okay? And I need you and your people to look for that information as much as we are going to be looking for the information. There are roads in there. They could be county roads in there. And according to county doctrine, nobody can build on that. I'm not going to sit there and give conditions that would allow you to build the solar field, but yet you would have to have it fenced in. You're going to have 100 miles of fence going around all these little, so.
Sure.
I'm over exaggerating on that, but you understand, right? So,
I do.
okay. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention so that you know what we're doing and why we're doing it and what your responsibility of this is. You need to get your team to investigate this more. Our team is going to investigate this more and then come together. And then when you're ready, reintroduce this to us, okay?
Yeah, I'm very, very happy to come back, and I'm positive we can come to a solution.
Okay, so, yeah, this is mine because Freeman's not here. Yeah. So I make a motion to table this until reports are given by both petitioner, landowner, and
Public Works.
county,
Public Works.
Public Works.
And
Is that okay?
yes, would you mind if I address the applicant?
Yes,
And
please.
if you would like, we can all get together for a meeting later if you want to get with planning and zoning as well as the public works. We can all set up something later on at either later this week or next week at any point to kind of go over what needs to be looked at in order to either potentially vacate or just how we would need to go about going around those easements essentially. But
Absolutely.
We can definitely have that meeting.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Can I give you one of my cards? Just
Okay, so I made the motion to table it at nobody's fault until all agencies involved can come together and figure this out.
I'll second.
Okay, motion with a second. Any discussion on the motion in a second?
No.
Hearing none, call the vote.
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. All right, moving right along. Action item 7E, Solar Field Overlay Zone 2026-058, District 2, P&Z Commissioner Freeman, Board of County Commissioner Richardson.
Chairman, Commissioners, before you this evening is the request for Solar Field Overlay Zone 2026-058, District 2, P&Z Commissioner Freeman, BOCC Richardson. Solarstone, New Mexico LLC requests a Solar Field Overlay Zone, SFOZ. Legal descriptions, 20 lots total, subdivision Valencia Community Air Ranch, Unit 2, lots 10A, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15A, 15B, 15C, 15D, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21A, 21B, 21C, 21D, 23A, A, and B, located north of the intersection of Manzano Expressway and Airport Drive, Los Lunas, New Mexico, 87031, currently zoned Neighborhood Commercial District C1 and Outland District OD. And I stand for any questions.
Is the petitioner present? Come forward, sign in, and state your name for the record.
Yep, it's me again. Sorry, my name is Tom Childs. I'm with Solarstone, New Mexico, to represent the Sunbelt Solar Project. So in substance, my presentation for this project is nearly the same. There's a few distinctions which I would like to go over and maybe make the assumption that we can understand this project as at the same stage of development as the one just presented on. So this sister project to the previous, Sunbelt Solar, has a slightly larger affected property footprint, 65 acres, although the array footprint is the same. In the neighborhood of, we expect 33 acres will be covered. There's some distinctions in the zoning designation. This particular site has a zoning designation neighborhood commercial, C1.
Can we get an overlay?
So similar to previous, we are requesting a change to the underlying zoning to include a solar field overlay zone. We have submitted a site plan, utilities, decommissioning plan. Oh, I think it's, Ryan can correct me, I think it's SR zoned as well. I think I missed that
Yeah,
earlier.
there's 3 different zonings in
That's
there,
right.
right?
Chairman Commissioners, let me remove the highlighted area of where so just to confirm these 4 lots here that are kind of a yellowish green color, those are not included in the overlay. So I'm going to remove that overlay so that way you can see what the underlying zoning districts currently are. So right now, the majority of these lots are C1. Here on this southern little triangular shape, that one is Outland District.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. So for Sunbelt, we are requesting a SFOZ to modify the underlying zoning restrictions. We want to point out that the land is not, or sorry, located within the boundary of the Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District. Oh no, I'm sorry, not. I missed the word there, a very important word. We plan to comply with existing setbacks, 35 feet. And similarly to previous, there will be a maximum of 2 employees on site with 1 private gated entrance. The current land cover is shrub, consistent with a mesa ecosystem with lesser portion of herbaceous and developed land. We anticipate only 8.7 acres itself of solar panels and related equipment. We are requesting an access road off Manzano Expressway on the southwest section of the property for construction traffic as well as light duty service vehicles for maintenance. Similar to previous, the racking type is tracking. So maximum height in the 6-foot range, resting height in the 5-foot range. This project does have a FEMA floodplain designation, approximately 12 acres of floodplain, classified as Zone A hazard. The proposed solar panels and related infrastructure are located outside of floodplain Zone A. We've conducted a full suite of desktop environmental studies, including critical issues assessment, wetlands, floodplain, and hydrological features. We found nothing in the studies to indicate the need for further investigation. In conclusion, we're seeking a zone change and site plan review to operate a 5-megawatt solar project in Valencia County. We feel this project will meet the needs of the state and the county as outlaid in their guidance documents. We appreciate your consideration of the requested conditional use permit and site plan review. I'm here for any questions.
Mr. Baca, this is right across the street from the transfer station, correct?
I didn't have my mic on. Chairman Commissioners, that's correct. It is on the west side of Manzano Expressway, directly across the street from the transfer station.
Fencing. What type of fencing are you going to use?
Yep, it's National Electric Code compliant fencing, which is 6 feet, optional barbed wire, although we don't contemplate needing that at this point. And as stated before, we attempt to use wildlife friendly wherever possible.
How are you going to make it wildlife friendly?
Well, the gaps are 4 to 6 inches at the bottom 2 to 3 feet of the fence. So it preserves the security intention of the fence while allowing small animals to pass through freely.
So you're not going to use barbed wire?
Well, that's a security decision. We don't, by default, include that in the plan.
This land is zone C1 commercial,
Yes.
but yet you've got a little, like, divot taken out in the middle there. You're not using that part?
I don't think it's owned by the same person.
Huh?
I don't think it's owned by the same owner.
Well, I'm listening.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to see where we're referring to.
Those 4 lots aren't part of your,
Ah, okay. I believe those have a different owner than our lessor.
right, so yours, Mr. Baca is filling in the spots that you're looking to procure on lease. Does that look more familiar to you?
Yes. So, yeah, for non-participating boundary lines, we'll comply with a 35-foot setback.
So for access point off of Manzano Expressway, you're asking Valencia County to build an entrance?
We would ask the county to approve the entrance. We would build it ourselves.
Where would you build it?
So if I could direct you to the site plan,
Yeah. Good.
you can see in the southern corner. Yeah, right there.
That's the point of interconnection, isn't it? That's where you're hooking the power up to the grid.
Yep, correct.
So where's the entrance? Oh, access road, I see it, 16-foot access road.
Chairman Commissioner, that point of intersection refers to that line
Yeah,
and dot.
I
Okay.
see it, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so you're gonna have a little ziggy right there. Yeah. You see it's coming off Manzano Expressway, it goes up about 100 yards and then it ziggies one way to about 20 yards and then ziggies another way. That's a ziggy.
And then it's A's.
Well, see, you guys, you need to have the engineering in your mind. Okay, let's.
Love the wording. Love the
Ziggy
wording.
ziggy. That's a ziggy. So actually, the can we zoom in on that? Yep, right there. So part of that access way is not even going to be on the leased property, correct? Because that's already a known roadway. That's why it's coming off that roadway. It's okay. Tom, this is 33 acres, correct?
Yes, sir, yes.
But you're only using about what, 20 acres?
Oh, sorry, 33 acres is the footprint of the array.
Oh, of the array?
Yes,
Okay,
the
so
leasehold is larger, 65.
65 acres is the total?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're using 33? So a little bit more than 50% of it is for the solar array and the rest is just for,
Well, yeah, it'll be kept in a natural state.
right.
I should be more clear. We often subdivide or relinquish back to the landowner those portions that we don't lease for the solar project, and he would have the free use of the property as he sees fit.
Well, plus you don't want to set up because going any further into the property would go into the flood plan, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
But the owner wants you to take all 65 acres. Take it all or have nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you the same questions I asked other people with solar. Generally, what comes from people with concerns that live around that area, how are you gonna keep it in harmony with the rest of the area?
Yeah, good question. We consider solar to be a somewhat natural preservation of the land compared to other development options. There's still a naturalness to these sites. Wildlife tends to come and go. Plants can grow reasonably well. They're relatively quiet and low to the ground. So I would argue that the landscape is by and large preserved. Additionally, in the big scheme of things, this is a temporary use. If a project is 35 years, what happens is decommissioning at the end of the project, and the pile drivers that drive these I-beams into the ground, they all come with a reverse function. So at the end of the life, you come back through and drive back out the piles, haul away the equipment. It's substantially the same as when you found it.
How old are you, Tom?
44.
What's 44 plus 35?
Oh, Miss Cuthbert for math is back.
Old, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, just say old.
Old, sure.
I'm old.
Are you going to be out there pulling those up? No.
I don't know. I did that for a living previously. I drove the pile driver in a past life.
But did you put it in reverse and pull them too?
Yeah, for the exploratory piles, sure, yep.
Well, I'm going to see you out there.
Yeah, it's good money. It's prevailing wage.
Okay. Commissioners?
The only question I have, Tom, is being that it's in the floodplain, the southeast corner of your array seems to be pretty close to the riverine. Are there any plans, or do you have any idea of how close, and are you going to shore up that certain area, that portion of the array, to ensure that there's no erosion to bring down your panels?
Right, yeah, excellent question. I think behind your question is the fact that electricity and water don't mix, and erosion can undermine foundational structures. So this is a 30% site design. As we get closer, 50, 70, 90%, we'll get more granular data on where that floodplain zone is exactly. And we'll get a more precise location. It won't change substantially, but we might scoot it as needed to give reassurance to our investors, to the insurance companies, to the regulators, that this is a safe structure. But there is a lot of oversight of what you're talking about.
Mr. Baca, just for clarity, could we overlay an elevation on that? Elevation lines?
Did you guys happen to provide any topography maps on the packet?
Do you believe? Let me
Because
check
if
my.
I'm not mistaken, because you know how when you go past the transfer station, like if you're going from El Cerro to Meadow Lake or Meadow Lake to El Cerro, on Expressway, in that area, there's a lot of elevation like that, right? So, and if I'm not mistaken, on the west side of Manzano Expressway, I think goes down, because you got that little quick mark right there, right? With cross-country propane there, and then you've got, I know that there's a pretty substantial dip in the elevation right in that area.
I'm not exactly sure where, but I know some areas are pretty, and then other areas they really drop up, down, up, down.
Right, right. So if, I don't know if an elevation map would show, and I don't know if,
Chairman, Commissioners, I have a topography map up. It's not giving me very many points of reference as far
Right.
as what the elevations are in each of those individual
Right.
lines on this specific one. However, you can see a water course that flows and it follows here along the Manzano Expressway.
Right.
Creates almost a river through there and follows that and comes down and floods out through this way.
Yeah.
Beyond
They
beyond
do
what the
have a-
floodplain shows, I don't think we have any
They have a
topography specific to
topographical
that.
map in here.
let me just look at yours real quick. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is, that's only by 10 feet, 20 feet.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
30 feet there, so.
Yeah, see, and they're gonna be building over on this side here,
Yeah.
and this is my
Yeah, so
concern, right?
they're
right through here.
missing all that stuff,
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
Yeah, you're looking at a 10-foot,
yeah, 10 foot by every 30
Yeah.
foot or so.
yeah.
So that's not, I knew that there was something there. Commissioners? Tom, go ahead and is that everything for right now? Go ahead, have a seat, and we'll call you back up here in a minute, okay? Okay, if there's anybody present wishing to speak in favor of the solar field overlay, please come forward, sign in, state your name for the record.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Bill Campbell. I am the managing member of Sunbelt LLC that is the owner of the property. And we're very much in favor of this. We think it's a very high and good use for that type of property. I don't believe that I've been in the real estate business for almost 50 years now, and I don't believe that that's probably going to ever be commercial. And there's a whole reason why it was commercial in the first place, is it used to be part of Valencia Community Air Ranch. And when they realigned the Manzano Expressway, and Commissioner Sublich, you're correct, that used to be an arroyo. That's the way the plats were filed in the original Valencia Community Air Ranch. And when they were getting ready to extend the Manzano Expressway along that pipeline that goes all the way from the southern part, they needed a different access because we couldn't get it through Eastland Hills. And so we went that way, and that was the arroyo going through there. And in trade-off, instead of being part of the air ranch, then that property, the subject property for the solar farm was Zone C1. That's what the county did as a trade-off for that land in order to put the Manzano Expressway through there. So that's kind of a little history lesson, but I'm a little older than Tom is, and I plan on being here when he has to take those things up. God willing. But anyway, I'd stand for any questions about the property. I understand it's multiple acreage. Why that one on the very south end is not part of the C1 and it's an
Right.
outland district, I have no idea. This is the first I heard of that. I thought it was Zone C1 also. And the other one right in the middle, that's a completely different owner. So that's not part of it.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Well,
yeah,
we
yeah.
kind of figured that,
Yeah,
so.
right.
Oh, yeah,
right.
we've
So-
seen enough of these that we understand, when you get the strange octagonal
Right.
flood or solar array
Right.
patches and you're like, okay, so
I
that,
just wanted to speak in favor of it, but if there's anything that, any questions you may have about how we got to this point with that property, I'd be more than happy to discuss it with you. So
so you representing the owner say,
the ownership of the property, yes. I am a managing member of the LLC and part owner.
Commissioners?
Nope.
I appreciate the history, and that does answer some of our questions, so.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Mhm. Anybody else present wishing to speak in favor of the petitioner? Now would be the time that you can come forward and speak in favor of the petitioner. Is there anybody present wishing to speak against the petitioner? Now would be the opportunity for anyone to step forward, sign in, and state their name to speak against the petitioner. Okay, hearing none, commissioners?
This is yours too.
Yeah, I know that. Why they're using C1, I don't know, but if the landowner is willing to pay C1 on a lease, they're willing to do it. According to the build plan, the proposed site plan, they're staying out of the flood area. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to be 100% assured of not being hit by a flood within the next 35 years, because there could be one of those flash flood type, things where that arroyo all of a sudden turns twice as big. But they're very well aware of it. It's documented, so, luck be a lady tonight. I would, Tom, can you come back forward? I'm not chastising you, but you're going to have another one, which was a previous one, going to come before us. I think it would be nice if you were to present a better presentation.
Fair enough. I saw a good example earlier in this hearing.
Okay, so let's come a little bit more prepared next time, and I think you could have been a little bit more prepared on this, but everything that you do have here, I don't see too much of a problem with it. So without further ado, I'm going to make a motion to pass it.
I'll second.
Motion with a second. Any discussion on the motion in the second? Call the vote.
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote? Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublett, how do you vote?
Yes. All right. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Moving right along. That was 7E, correct? Yes, it was. 7F, action item 7F, it's a variance. Number 2026-059. District 4, P&Z Commissioner Sublett, Board of County Commissioner Bezell. Mr. Baca.
Chairman Commissioners, before you this evening is a request for the variance number 2026-059, District 4, P&Z Commissioner Sublett, BOCC Bezell, Martin and Beatrice Hojolo request a variance of 50 feet to the accessory structure front yard setback requirement of 60 feet to construct a metal storage building with a setback of 10 feet from the edge of the right-of-way of Camino de Cristal. Legal description: subdivision, land of Martin and Beatrice Hojolo, tract A1A, UPC 1007-026-503-443, also known as 1 Hojolo Lane, Bolid, New Mexico 87002, currently zoned Rural Residential District 2, RR2, and this one is related to the next request as well. There's going to be 2 variance requests on setbacks from 2 separate roads on this project.
Can you give us a overhead on that?
Yes,
Matt? I'm not trying to jump ahead, but I just want to make sure, I want to see if it's worth doing these together or separate. So where's the proposed site?
Chairman Commissioners, the the two variance requests are here along the western boundary. So the project's up in the northwest corner. There's one going to the Jorales Road and then another one to Camino de Cristal. So the current one that we're looking at is from the edge of the right-of-way of Camino de Cristal for variance 2026-059.
That's the 30-foot variance?
This one is a variance of 50 feet. They want to place
50
it 10 feet from the edge of the right-of-way of Camino de Cristal.
And then the one on,
And then 30 feet from the edge of the right-of-way of Jorales Road. So 30 feet on the west, 10 feet to the north for the total setback.
okay, we'll do them separate. We have the petitioner available. Please come forward, sign in, and state your name for the record.
While he signs in, Mr. Scoville does have an authorization form on record for it.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Dwayne Scoville. I'm with MDN Surveying, and I am representing Martin and Beatrice Hola, who are also here tonight. We are here to discuss, as Ryan mentioned, two separate variance requests, but they're both for the same building. The property that the Holas own, it's a residential 2 RR2 zone. They're requesting a variance to be able to put in a storage building. The problem that they're running into with the site plan and the way the setbacks are is there's the highway there in the front on the westerly side of the property. There's a road easement for access to other parcels on the southerly side of the property. And then there's Camino de Cristal, which essentially is on other plats is shown as access to adjoining parcels. The setback, according to the county's regulations, is 60 feet from each one of those because they're considered roads. Not all of them are county maintained roads. One of them, like I said, is an easement on the southerly side that has not been developed yet. And then Camino del Cristal is being currently used as access. And then, of course, the highway is out in the front, Jorales Road. With the 60-foot setbacks existing from each of those, there's absolutely no room for the structure that they've already purchased and are waiting to get permitted to erect. If you look at there's a site plan there, I believe in red, it shows the existing setback lines. And with those setback lines on the three sides with the roads, there's essentially just a small island in the middle of the property that they're able to build an accessory structure on. The house currently sits in the middle of that property and takes up pretty much most of the building envelope as far as that goes. The only spot that there would be that could possibly maybe meet the setbacks would be behind the house, but with that being said, it would have to be like touching the house for it to be there, and the doors for the building would be essentially in their backyard, in their carport or their back porch. So it's not really any room for vehicles in and out of this structure. So that's why we've proposed it closer to Camino de Cristal and closer to Jorales Road, which is Highway 109. That way they have sufficient room for access in and out of the structure. I think that's essentially the gist of the idea. I will stop it there just for time's sake, and I'll answer any questions.
Are you actually going to be the one putting it together? Because this is a prefab, right?
Yeah, it's a pre-manufactured building, a metal building.
Right.
I am not the contractor that will be putting it together. I am the surveyor that, so they had another zoning issue that we resolved for them. That this piece of property before was actually 3 separate pieces of property, and the house was actually built over a property line and stuff like that. So we replatted the property in of its own just to resolve those already non-conforming issues. So, you know, we're working towards getting this, so everything's conforming.
Do you have or do they have the plans for that? So on the proposed building, it's 40 foot by 90 foot, correct?
Right.
Is that going to require a foundation?
Yes. Yes, and it is in the flood zone, so they're gonna have to bring in dirt, which actually they've already started, they already have dirt there, close to where they proposed in the site. The dirt's already been acquired and in place. They have to build it up for flood purposes. They're aware of that. And there will be a foundation, a concrete foundation. I believe
So-
the plans were submitted in the packet, I believe.
So is this, Mr. Baca, is this a situation where they're asking for permission after they started?
So Chairman Commissioners, I don't believe this was tagged by code or anything, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this, we've been working with Dwayne, like he had mentioned, on some of the other compliance issues they had on this property, and he's helped with the property owners as far as amending some of the lot lines and stuff like that. After those, I think this all initially came up, I think this was initially proposed, but because of where the lot lines previously were, it would have been built over property lines. And then at that time, it was also noted that the home was built over property lines. And so they were working at the beginning. They did come in and submit applications for the build of this. And that's what kind of started this snowball of all these other processes that he's been going through and helping the property owner with.
Dwayne, you just said that they're already putting dirt in there for the flood zone, right?
Well, they have dirt, they have acquired dirt and it's there. I mean, they can move it around to wherever it needs to be built, but they have acquired dirt already, yes. They all also
So
have,
they haven't started building a foundation?
no, they haven't built
They
anything
just
yet.
brought the dirt in?
There's dirt there,
so
yes.
that- Okay, okay.
And they
I'm
have the
sorry.
building. The
I'm
building's
not-
been
okay.
purchased. It's sitting there ready to be constructed, once all the proper permitting and everything is in place.
So where's their driveway coming in? That's coming directly off of Harales Road, correct?
Right, directly off of Morales Road, yes, that's correct.
And that whole, all of that, no, let me see here. Oh, okay, so the fence, so they've got a little fence going around the house, then they've got a larger fence going around the property. So there's a dog leg on that property, right? That's why they can't put it down there, because according to this, the property looks like a lot bigger than what actually they're using the property, unless they're cut that little dog leg out for farming, right?
Yeah, so if you see the, if you have the site plan, I don't know if you have the site plan in front of you.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there on the southerly side, there's that, the road easement, which like I said, there's no houses or anything built on those properties in the back, so there's nobody using that easement right now. It has not been developed, but with that being said, it's, you know, you can't build within an easement. So it's there in place, and the setback line from that is 60, and they are currently farming the stuff outside of the existing, you know, fence line there.
What's the purpose of the building?
The purpose of the building, it's a storage building and for parking vehicles and such.
What type of vehicles?
I couldn't answer that. Martin or Beatrice could possibly answer those questions.
Yeah, if you would want to bring one of them up to.
Sure.
Oh, 'cause I'm short.
Hi, my name's Beatrice Hohola, and you were asking what the purpose of the storage, built the shop was going to be for. When we built our house, it's been, what, 2.5 years. We have at the old house still two-car garages full of our belongings, plus another single garage with our belongings that we need to store and take out of my son's property.
So, Mr. Baca, on the one that you've got up there, you see the dark line going all the way around. It's like a giant, I would say a pentagram, because it's 5-sided on the top, but it's a quadrangle, for all intents and purposes. You know what I'm talking about,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So is that their property line?
Yes, sir. So the thickest dark line is the property line.
Okay,
That's what surrounds everything here.
okay.
And that is also, in this situation on the north and on the west, that is also the edge of the right-of-way of each of those roads.
Correct. So when you look at the photograph, overhead photo, the larger fence that's kind of on that dog leg there, they put that, and Beatrice, if you can verify this, you put that fence in there because you're, I would assume, farming that part of the land, right?
On the back of
On
the
the,
house?
on the south part, right there
Southern
where
portion?
the pointer is.
Yes.
So you fenced that off,
Yeah, we fenced it off and then for our dogs,
right?
so they wouldn't be out in the field.
Right, so you're using that part for agriculture, and do you own the property below that as well? Could you go back to that? I'm sorry. Do you own the land that's either south of that land? Because you see how there's a lot of farming going on in that area.
The other part where the line goes belongs to the neighbors.
Okay, but yet it looks like all of the rows are going in the same direction. It looks like whenever they go out there to water or cut or weed or plow or whatever, they're doing everything all at once.
Yes, and they're doing the neighbors as well.
So who's doing that?
We have a guy that goes out and cuts and rakes and bales the field for us.
So do you lease that little bit of property that on your southern part to him so that,
No,
so you pay him to water that and,
no, we do the water irrigating.
so why are all the lines like going the same? It looks like one person is going in there cutting, plowing,
Just a single
tilling.
farmed field?
Huh?
Is it just one single farmed field, or are they
Yeah,
separate
well,
fields?
yes, and plus the neighbors, because we don't have the road easement or anything there on the south end.
Right, so are they doing it just out of the kindness of their heart, or are you paying them to, or are you doing it for everybody out of the kindness of your heart, or are they paying you to, or?
For us to irrigate it, or?
Well, to do all of it, because it looks like it's one big,
Well, we do pay someone like to cut and rake and bale it,
okay.
yes.
So originally, before the house was built, that was
All farmland.
It was, the only house that was there was the house in the bottom.
Right,
And that was all one property at one point
Right.
in time, with that all being one field, yes.
commissioners?
What kind of fence separates this right here?
There's a pipe
Grass
fence.
from the dirt?
It's a pipe fence,
Pipe fence?
yeah.
So what would prevent you from building your structure from here, somewhere over here?
There's a 60-foot, well, there's 20-foot of road easement, and then a 60-foot setback from there.
But,
So it's the same scenario.
You got the fence right here. What's prevent you from building that structure here, 60 feet from the road here?
So the structure has the doors on one of the long sides of the building, and they want it designed where the doors are on the southerly side of the building and not the northerly side, for if it snows and stuff like that. Then they're not, the driveway's not covered in snow and whatnot. So the doors are designed to be on the southerly side of the building.
But if you have the structure on the southern part of the property line and have the doors on the northern side, would that solve the same purpose?
I guess I'm not seeing what you're saying, sir. Say that again.
So if you're to have the structure here with the doors facing this direction, just like you have the doors facing this direction, would that solve your purpose?
Right, well, I mean, we'd still have to have a variance because it would be within the 60-foot on the southerly side. We'd still need a variance.
But you'd only need one. Where you're going now, you need two.
No, we'd still need two. I mean, there's 60-foot and 60-foot on the south and the east side.
Yeah, if you brought it more southern, but the way that he was drawing it up there, you would have only needed one. And on that south side, like I'm, where you're proposing the building to be right now, what about traffic coming down that road? Are they, Hohola Lane? I mean, yeah, I guess they've got 30 foot to come to a stop and look both ways, I guess. I just think it's really close. I mean, you know, there's a 60-foot variance for a reason, and you're asking for 50 foot of it.
Well, and Camino del Crystal is, on the existing plats, is only 15 foot wide. Anyhow, it's more of a driveway rather than a road. It is access for all of those houses up there, but by today's standards, the planning standards, they wouldn't even allow a 15-foot road. So the road itself is non-conforming to begin with. So that's why we had thought that having it close to the non-conforming road to have the non-conforming building would all kind of be in harmony there.
So by your own testimony, if it's non-conforming and all of a sudden the neighbors down the road are saying, hey, we really want the road to be conforming because we need fire, EMS, police access to come in and out, and it's like, well, you can't have a conforming road now because the county allowed you a variance for a big old building.
Well, at that point, all the property owners on both sides of the roads would have to, agree to give up that extra land for that,
But
actually, the lands that are using that road are all, that road that on the Camino de Crystal is within the adjoining properties to the north and is not for the southerly parcels. So if that road was to expand, it would have to expand to the north. It couldn't expand to the south.
Mr. Bach, can you bring that back up again? And zoom in on that road. So you see, there's no way that it can expand to the north because if you look at that property with the white, it's got the L-shaped, that's right up against the property.
Right,
There's
another
no way that it could expand that way.
non-conforming building, right, that's correct.
Right, so the only way it could conform would be to expand to the south. But if we allow you to put, or your client or whatever, to put that large building there, then there is, and like you said, you're killing your own argument because you're saying, well, that road is not conforming to the county standards.
Right.
Well, if we need to get that road up to county standards for EMS, fire, police, and all that stuff, then that.
Right, but the underlying users of the road are the northerly properties. If you actually look at the property line, the property line is south of Camino del Crystal. So the properties to the north use Camino del Crystal. The properties to the north are the underlying landowners of that.
But you've got a driveway right there, and it sure looks like it's getting used on the south.
There is a gate there, yes. I don't know how often they use it or don't use it. Their actual legal access is from from Highway 47.
You can't have it both ways, guy. I mean, you're saying.
They don't have to use Camino del Cristo. They have legal access from Jojola Road or Jojola Lane, which is the easement on the south, and then Morales Road, which is on the easterly side.
Mr. Baca, zoom out. I want to, so the property that, you see the one that's right up against the, where's your pointer? Yeah, that one right there. Their only access is from that road, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm speaking with.
Oh, sorry.
Chairman Commissioners, that is correct.
So, and the property east of that, only access from that road?
Chairman Commissioners, that is correct.
And the property east of that, only access to that road, by that road?
Chairman Commissioners, that is correct.
And the property east of that, the only access is from that road?
Chairman Commissioners, that is correct.
Those have already grandfathered in the way they're built. There's nothing that we can do about that?
As far as the residences, yes.
Yeah.
I would have to look at each individually, but most likely they were built as, like you stated, legally non-conforming at the time of construction.
Right. By the testimony of the petitioner, the road is not up to standard, so if the county needed to bring that road up to standard, they would go south with the road, correct?
Chairman Commissioners, I couldn't speak on that one. I would have, once again, have to confer with the Public Works Department on that.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4 homes that rely on that road. And you're asking us to bottleneck it.
Sir, currently,
Well, basically what it is we're here to discuss the setbacks. We have no control over what has already been done to the properties to the north.
Right.
Okay. And if these roads do need to be expanded, they do have to expand to the south, another, say, 10 feet. Or depending, if anything, if there's any other, say, houses being built back there, that road would have to eventually be widened.
well,
So again, if that property to the back, that field, if somebody were to build a house back there, that road would have to widen.
no, sir, that's not correct. So the road on the north side is, like I said, solely owned by the properties to the north and used by the properties to the north. That is their legal access. To the south, the property in the back, there's an easement on the south end that is in place for the development of those two lots in the back. So if they were to build a house in those two, there is a conforming 40-foot wide road with the cul-de-sac that's required by today's standards that is in place for those properties. And
that's that you're talking about the exact same easement that you guys are trying to get a variance on.
no, I'm talking about the road on the north is where they're trying to get the variance. The road on the south, that is not developed yet. It's not there. It's on the site plan. If you look at the site plan, Ryan, one more time. See there on the south side of the road, or the south side of the property, there's a 40-foot wide road where the farmland was that you guys were talking about. That is the existing legal access for the easterly two properties behind the Jojolas and then the other house that's just south of them. For those two lots, that is their legal access. And that road would have to get built, obviously, if they were to build a house or something back there. That would be the way that those lots would get accessed.
I don't see that.
Do you see where the red line, where you have marked 60 foot?
Yeah, there's three of them. There's one on the north,
Okay.
one on the east, and one on the south. Which one, sir?
This one right here.
Yes, sir.
All right. What is stopping you from building the building at the front end? Bring that front end to that 60-foot mark. Instead of asking for a 50-foot variance, ask for, say, a 40-foot variance or a 30-foot variance.
If you bring that building down the 60 feet from Camino de Cristo, it's in the house. It does not fit.
Well, not bring it down the whole
Well, that's
60
what,
feet.
that's the
bring it
variance,
down like-
that's the variance we're speaking about, is the Camino de Cristo variance. I have my laptop. If you guys would like, I can show you where the building would, where we could move it around, and you could see that it won't fit. Do you, well, never mind. I can show you the effective building envelope as it
Well,
exists
the
now.
effect of where it's going right now is pretty, you know,
Well, see, if you see the 60 foot all the way around, the only little area to build is mostly taken up by the house currently.
Question for you. Is a 60-foot requirement from, it is a 60-foot requirement from any road, that is correct, right?
from the center of the road.
And also from an easement? I don't remember reading easement, but I do remember road.
Yeah, so Chairman Commissioners, that is correct. I could give you the exact definition if you'll bear with me for just a moment on that. So the definition of a setback is defined as the horizontal distance measured perpendicularly, sorry, from the edge of right-of-way of a public road or 30 feet from the center line of a public road, whichever is furthest to the nearest point of any structure on any parcel. So it does say from the edge of right-of-way of a public road.
And 60 feet from the, sorry, 15 feet from the easement on the south side dotted line, right?
And that is considered a road. It was platted as a road. So all of these are platted with the title of a road. So they are all three, excuse me, north, west, and south are all identified as roads.
Yeah.
I see it now, road easement, I thought it was utility easement. Okay.
And what's the zoning on that piece of property that we're looking at?
Chairman Commissioners, this property is zoned Rural Residential District 2, or R2.
R2.
They're using
Yeah.
25 to 30% for agriculture, shared agriculture.
My thing is that the plot plan that they're showing, the 60-foot setback mark, if they move that building, the front of that building,
Yeah, next to the driveway.
yeah,
And then they would only need a zone or a
a
variance on the
of,
front part.
say maybe about 15, 20 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
Do you see where we're at?
I see what you're saying, but I thought we were discussing the northerly one at the moment,
yes, we are.
or were you discussing both of them?
No, we're discussing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one northerly, but, you
Yeah.
know, in the process, I mean, I don't want to, we're not trying to find something that would help you out and then it wouldn't be helpful on the second one.
Right,
you
right.
know. I mean,
No,
we're
I
trying to
understand.
work the problem, but keeping it there, I think, is just adding a future problem down the road. And it's a liability that I don't think the
Basically-
county should be taking.
Basically, what we're trying to say is we're trying to work with you on the setbacks. The 30-foot setback from what is that? from Jarales Road, we could probably work with that. It's the setback from,
That
what's the other
Jojola
one?
or-
Yeah,
The top one, the northern one is Jojola, right? Jojola Lane?
You'll have to ask the commissioner, you'll have to ask the chairman, it'll be up to him to make that decision.
Okay, I have some alternate plans. One with a 15-foot from Camino del Crystal drawn up. Would you guys consider that if we showed it to you? I can email it to Ryan and he could put it up for you.
We would consider it, but you would have to table and do it next meeting. Because
we would like.
it's not fair to the public that you're changing it when the public, does that make sense?
No, I understand that, yes.
But
that-
what we should have done from the get-go is put together a plan with all scenarios. That way, we'd have what you have in your computer,
Right.
Fair enough.
And if we can do a table, you have all the information on your computer, you bring that, share it with us, give us all these different scenarios, and
But that has to be presented in the package,
And it has
so
to
that, because this is an open forum, it's a public forum, you can't just change it mid-stride, because people, it might affect somebody that has not been properly,
Right, no, and I understand that. I
you know,
understand that
so,
completely.
I'm not trying to hurt you, and I'm very thankful that you're working with us on this, but you can't do it mid-stride. So
I understand.
I would say that that's a great idea, but in order to do that, you got to table this.
That's fine. We can table. Would 15 be acceptable?
Well,
Or
we cannot
close-
say that
yeah,
without
okay.
looking at it,
I understand.
but-
Okay, I understand.
but
You need a new
15
packet.
But what I can say is 15 would be more to the acceptable side than 60.
I understand.
Or 40 or 50.
50.
You're asking for a lot. And if you're listening to us and you're seeing where this is going, that one road has to stay open up top. It's got to stay open.
I see what you're saying. Even though the thing is that the owners of the properties to the south would have to 100% agree or sell the land to whoever to expand.
Well, I don't know
road.
that.
Yeah.
We would have to talk to them. I can't make any.
Right. No, I understand what you're saying.
And I'm not trying to be,
No, I understand what you're saying. I was just trying to
Yeah.
keep this relevant
Yes.
to the actual what we're trying to do here. So
Right.
that's fine.
Right. You got to understand safety. Safety is paramount.
Very good. Okay. Well, then let's table this and the following motion or the following variance.
Right. So
both.
this one and then
Both
following,
of
you're
them,
going to
yes.
table both of them.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We'll
So-
resubmit a packet.
Okay.
Very
Thank you.
good. Thank you.
Go ahead. Okay, so action item 7F has been tabled by the petitioner, and action item 7G has been tabled by petitioner. We're good on that? Good on that, Mr. Baca?
Good.
Excuse me, moving on to action item 8. Next meeting of the Valencia County Planning and Zoning Commission will be Tuesday, July 21st, 2026 at 3 p.m. here in the conference room. Is that good for you? Good for everybody? Okay. Okay. And moving on to item number 9, adjournment. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion with the second. Any discussion on the motion and the second? Hearing none, call the vote.
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Aguilar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Chairman Sublet, how do you vote?
Yes, this meeting is adjourned.
You guys here to speak on one of the requests? I noticed we didn't. Oh, okay. So we'll send out notification again for whenever they can bring it back. Yes, you'll get the exact same notification for the next meeting. Okay. Which we own to the west. Perfect. So yes, just we'll get a notification. I think we received a
be a significant change or not, we'll have to look at it again, but it'll be the same notification. So if you receive one for these, you'll receive